Hello, this is Paulina from Paulina Art Stuff, and today I'm gonna be filming a massive video for all of my completed pages of the year 2025. So my plan is to show you all my colored pages that I did from about February of this year all the way up till the end of December, because I started coloring in coloring books somewhere in February of this year. And in March, I bought a lot more books, and then I just took off, basically, and I colored a lot more. So the first thing that I will show you is my planner, in which I've kept track of what I colored in 2025. So I've got a tab in the back. Like, this is what I've made for this year, for 2026, but I also have one for 2025, which is this lovely spread. And as you can see, I've written down each month how many I've done. So in January I did nothing. February I did one Disney page, which is Disney color by number, just so that you're not wondering what that means. And other is everything else, like my normal coloring books, because Disney is its own category for me. And yeah, I will explain that as well, why I keep count of them, because I want to, like, this year was all about building up my collection. And from this point onwards, so 2026 and onwards, I only want to buy books for the amount of pages that I color. So this year I colored 210 pages. So if I would buy a Tokimeku book, which is one of these lovely Japanese books, they've got like about 70 pages or so. So that means I could only buy 3 of these, and I can't buy any more if I do not want my collection to grow. So that is why I'm gonna keep track of my colored pages also for next year. But for this year, I did 210 normal pages and 69 Disney color by numbers. So yeah, that's something I just wanted to include at the beginning of the video, in case you are wondering how many are we gonna see. We're gonna see this many pages, so 279 pages in total. But I will make Disney a separate category. So for people that are interested in the color by number, it will have its own category in my film. And I will make timestamps as well. This first part is mainly going to be all my non-Asian artists. So Maria Trolle, RJ Hampson, Klara Markova, you name it. Like all of the ones that are not Asian, basically. So that's what we're going to start with today. And that also includes my Disney color by number. So I hope that you're going to have a snack and a drink, because this is going to take some time. So yeah, let's dive in. So we're gonna just start, because it's gonna be a long video and I don't want to keep you waiting. So we're gonna start with Klara Markova, and we're gonna start with the oldest of the 5, which is, or at least the oldest that I own, which is Fairy Miracles, because there are 2 older ones which I do not own. So I will show you my overview in the beginning of the book, which says what I finished. So I finished 4 pages, as you can see. And I marked them with my bookmarks so we can look at them a lot easier. So this is the first page that I did, which was a buddy color with Color and Create with Jana on the 6th of June. And I used my Ohuhu Halawa pencils, which I written down, as you can see. And I also did some golden paint pen, like on the mushroom there, see? But also on all the flowers and on her face and on the bee. Like, I did a little bit of everywhere, all over the page. And I love how it came out. It is so happy. Like, look at that. Look at all those shiny stuff. Even on here, you see? When I do like that. I love doing that, flipping back and forth to see all the shiny stuff. And then I also did this one in September 2025 for Color the Fairy Tales. For the prompt hare/rabbit, apparently. And for this one, I know I changed up his face, because I know there were some more lines here and also above the eye, and I wiped them out basically and colored over them, so it's a lot cuter. and I love it. I'm in love with this rabbit now. Before it was a bit creepy, and now it's just looking a bit sleepy and cute. I love it. Completely in love with it. Yeah, I think I actually used some chroma flow here, which is probably the darker pink, and some of my polychromos for like these colors. Those are definitely polychromos, but this bright pink, that was probably the Holbein pencil that like the luminous opera, I think it's called, because it's so fluorescently pink. So I think that's what was when I had my test pencils like open stock. So that is that book. Then the next one that I have from Klara Markova is Fairy Celebrations. Like as you can see, I covered all my books with plastic to keep them clean and safe. And in this book, I only finished the title page actually. So that is all that I did. And if I'm correct, I did, yeah, you see super shiny watercolor on the roof. There's like purplish watercolor all over it, see? And also in the mushrooms, if I do it like this. I love it. Like at first I only had pencil, and then I was like, I'm crazy if I'm not gonna do some shiny stuff on this. Like, that's what I want. So I did. So I did this in April of 2025. And that's also the only page that I did, as you can tell. So yeah, that's everything for this book. Nice and sweet. With lots of shine. But I love it. Then the third book that I have from Klara Markova is Fairy Touch of Magic. And I also did one double page, I believe. Let's have a look. Yes, only one double page from the 110. So let's flip to that one, which is this mermaid page. Yes, I did it for mermaid. I did it on the 3rd of May, as you can see on the bottom. And it was also the Little Mermaid for Call the Fairy Tales. So yeah, I written that all down, and this is what I did. I did a watercolor base, and then I went with pencils on top, I believe. Yes. Did I? Maybe. But I probably did it really light, because it doesn't feel like really crinkly, or it has flattened out by now. It seems like it has flattened out, because I definitely did it. You can see it on the edge, but it has completely flattened out, that it's almost not noticeable. Which is good. I love this page. I love how happy it is. And I love the color scheme that I picked. Just like some pink, turquoise, and some yellowy sand colors. And that's it. Look at those lovely fish. I really like how the bottle came out. And the octopus in the treasure trove. And then the jellyfish on the left, I did as well. Yeah, I try to combine the pages as if it's one big page. That's what I like to do in Klara's books. So that is all that I did in this lovely book by Klara. And then the next one that I have is Little Secrets from My Fairy House, which is this lovely cover. Like, they're so gorgeous, these books. And I also did only one double page spread in this one. So let's see which one that is. It's in the middle of the book. So, oh yeah, this is a color along on my channel. I remember this one. Look at that. I even written it down. I did this in May of 2025. And as you can tell, I did a watercolor base for everything. And then I went over with my polychromos pencils. And it is so cute. Look at them. Oh, like my favorite part of this page is probably this little one. Like looking, peeking over the edge. There's many more bees in the sky, which I love. I really like the combination with the bright yellow sunflower and some of the more green and blue in the background. Like I went a bit of a rainbow style over here with my watercolor, but I like it. Like it's so colorful and still it's fantasy like. Yeah, I'm in love with her bees. I love them very much. So that is all that I did in this lovely book, Little Secrets from My Fairy House. So it's not a whole lot, but at least I did something in each book. So this is the last book that I own from Klara, which is Orchard Full of Fairies, which is her newest book. And for this one, I also did one double page, as you can see. So it's literally random which ones I did. I just picked one I liked and I just went for it. So for this one is also actually a color along, if I'm correct. Yeah, with the Colour pencils, yes. And it was also a body color with my friend Fungus Love Color on Instagram, which I written down. And I did it for Christmas in July. And yeah, this is a color along. I used the macaron set from the Colour in combination with like some browns from the normal set, because all those other colors are all the pastel set. And as you can see, you can do a whole lot with just the cheap ones, with cheap pencils. I think my favorite is the little reindeer. Yeah, I really am in love with this one. So cute. So yeah, if you want to recreate this, you can find this in my Klara Markova playlist. And that is it for Klara Markova. Then next up is Maria Trolle. I also got quite a few books of her right now. I think I've got 4 at the moment. And this was the first book that I bought, which is Luna by Maria Trolle. And I also covered these books because they have a lot of pages, as you can see. They've got 88 pages. That's a whole lot. Like, you might see this, and that is for me to notify which ones I do not like in the book. So these ones in the red, those ones I do not like, or the ones that I circled I probably don't like. And then these ones are the, okay, I want to color them, but I rather don't. So these are like still okay. And I also mark the same colors, like the blue over here and the red over here. So I know which ones I do not like. But as you can tell, I already did 10 pages in this one in total. So this one is a bit more colored in than my Klara books. This is the first one from Maria Trolle, Luna. So I used acrylic paint pens. I did this in September of this year. And yeah, I used acrylic paint pens like the Guangna, I think, on this one mostly. Maybe some Touliard, but it looks like Guangna. Like, I made some oopsies. As you can see, I covered up something here and something here because I probably just did like a swoosh with my finger or something. But I'm not really happy with the girl and her hair. I should have just gone full pink or something, or full white, instead of doing this weird look. I think I changed my mind because it blended too much into the background. But looking at it now, I'm still not really pleased with the hair, but it's okay, you know. I like the rest of the page, and I am in love with this one. Look at that. Like, this is probably where I picked my color scheme for this page, because I probably saw something on Pinterest, if I remember correctly. And then I pulled it over to this side because that's what I love to do. Use the same color scheme on both sides. And then the next one is actually a body color that I did with my friend Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And I did this for the Wild Year of Color 2025. And the theme for June was the deer. So that's why I did this page. So that was the one that I picked out. And then, of course, I couldn't just stop. Look at all those dots that I did. I actually like it, you know, also on the ground. I like the style that I did on this one. And then I pulled it through to this side, which I also really like. Yeah, I like this kind of style on Maria Trolle's work. All paint pens as well. So yeah, I think this is also the Guangna. Maybe the green is Touliard. I think the turquoise green is the Touliard and everything else is Guangna, by the looks of it. Then the next page that I did is only one, as I can see. I only did the left one. And this is the one that I did for August, for the Wild Year of Color 2025. And the theme was owl. Well, you see him there, right? The little sneaky one. I love him. But yeah, I'm not in love with this page. I don't know why I went for these bright colors. I don't know. I think I saw a Pinterest picture of an indigenous woman or something. I think that was what it was, because of the feathers. That's probably why. Yeah, that's what it was. And I picked these colors out of that picture. Like, these were all in there. And at first I had some of the feathers also with these blue tones, but it looked horrible. So I scratched those two and I went over with the purples and the reds and the orange. That's why some of the feathers are a bit messy, as you can see. It's not as clean as it might have been before. But like overall, when I look at it now, it's really not that bad. It's just not my cup of tea with the colors that I picked. But I stuck to it. So now I also want to use them on this side. But not for a while. I still need to recover from this harassed, like, disaster page. That's what I call it. Like, it isn't, but to me it is. Because I don't like it. And then the next page that I did is actually this double page. And this was with my Tuli art. Yes, I remember, because this is one of the first pages that I actually did. And as you can see, it works really well. But I also got shiny gold on the flowers everywhere. Like on all the dots. Also in, like, on the heart of the flowers over here. I also got some. And let me take this out. So I added it all over here. And I made like little stripes on these ones. Maybe you can tell if I do it like this. A little bit. And the bird is like completely vanishing into the background, this one. Like the belly is visible, but I should have made it even darker, I think, to make it pop. Or made it like white or something, you know, like this part. That would have popped as well. Like I went already pretty dark, but it didn't help. But I don't dislike this page. Like I was actually a fan of the flowers, so that the bird doesn't pop out. I don't really mind. I do like the little ghosties in the page. And there one. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. And then I did a little bit more in the back, I think. Did I also do this one? No, I didn't. I did the little bits over here, like this one and that one. I was testing out my mediums. So this is all with paint pens as well. And I was like, yeah, that works quite well. And then I also did the tester page, as you can see, with all kinds of stuff. These were like water-based markers. But I didn't like how it looked if you went over it. Like the streaky nature is just not my cup of tea. So I did like really overlapping. I did straight next to each other. And then an in between. And I didn't like it. Not my cup of tea with this one. This is the paint pens as well. So because this works so well, I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. But as you can see, my fine liners also worked really well on this paper. So that's also a great option. And then I used three types of pencils, which I owned at the time, I guess. There were the Carandas Pablo, which are these three colors. As you can see, they work, but it can be a little bit scratchy because of the pencil nature. The Polychronos looks fine to me. That just means like I was a bit rough myself. And the Ohuhu actually looks the best if you look at this. But the Ohuhu can be a bit scratchy as well, but they're buttery at the same time. They're a difficult pencil, like... It's hard to describe because it feels buttery, but sometimes you get like these scratches when you use them. And as you can see, watercolor is not a fan of this paper. You get like this weird granulating texture on it when it dries, and I don't like it. So that's why I decided not to go for watercolor, because you might think that it could take it really well, just like the Klara, but it doesn't. So that is my first book from Maria Trolle. And then I bought some more. Because I liked it so much, because I did so many pages in such a short time, I decided to look a little bit further into her collection, and I saw this book. And I think that this is my favorite from her so far, and that's why I bought it, because I love it. And let's see what I did. I don't think I did a whole lot. No, I only did one double, as I can see. And as you can see, there are not as many pages that I dislike. So there's only 3 doubles that I don't like. And 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles that are like meh. That I'm not really a fan of. So that is not much at all. But there's only one double page spread that I did, which is this one. As you can see, this one is done with colored pencil. Like before, I only did paint pens in her books. And this one I was like, this suits color pencil for some reason. It was just my brain like clicking, like that's what I want. And I did not like this owl page before I colored it, and now I love it. I love it. Absolutely in love with this owl. Like I just didn't like the way like there was a scene inside of his feathers, and the way his face is like almost a pigeon, you know. It's like, what is this? Is this supposed to be an owl with a strange face? And then I start coloring with my favorite colors, pink and blue and some greens. Like usually I go for the more turquoisey greens like these ones. But I was like, I'm just gonna go and see what will happen. So I started with brown, and then I was like, oh, it's nice if there is also some pink in the background and also in his wings and maybe some yellow for some pop. And that's how I came to this. And I was like, oh, this is pretty. I love it. And then I went to this one. And I was like, oh my god, it's massive tree. If I only want to do green on the leaves like I did on the other page, it will look silly. So instead of doing that, I decided to make a gradient from like browns into the pinky tones and then into the darker greens. And then on the top, I went to the lighter greens again, just to make a little bit of difference between the bottom and the top of the tree, because it didn't look right if I would do it all in one color. And then I was like, these looks like clouds. So I made it like the same color and I actually like it. So yeah, that is my only page in Moon Valley and I'm happy with it. And then I closed the book and I said, okay, what's next? So I had another book, which I bought roughly at the same time, which is this one, Fairy Tale Worlds. And yeah, this book I also got together with Moon Valley at the time. And I colored 7 pages in this one. And you can see I've got notes here. So this is like all the pages that Coloring Bumblebee did for her full book color along. And I've did 4 out of the 8 spreads. So let's have a look what I did. So this is the first one that Jess did as an introduction to her full book color along. So I did this at the end of December, just after Christmas. And I kept it nice and simple with my Holbein pencils. Then at the beginning of November, I colored this one as a buddy with Shermaine Creative Coloring and Color by Eriy. And yeah, I used only Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. And I wanted the background to be really light and the cat to be much brighter. So this and the foreground elements would pop out and the background would fade away. So that's why he has such a heavy tone, because I prefer the lighter tones usually. So yeah, that's what I did on this page. I'm really happy with my Puss in Boots. That was the first one that I did in this book. Then I also did this one in December, which is the Flower Fairies. And there are all fairy tales in this book. And this was actually the second one that Coloring Bumblebee did for her full book color along. But I did not follow her her colors because she has blue purplish tones on the flowers and I do not. I chose my own color scheme. But at least my choices of which ones to do are made now because she picks her pages and I can just follow along, chip away. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I really like how these flowers came out. And yeah, furthermore, I just kept it simple. I just picked a few colors and kept those. So red, green, and pinks. And a little bit of blue for the background. And that was it. And then I did one more double page spread in this book, which is the Nutcracker page, which she did for December. And I also colored it in December. And this was a buddy, again, with Shermaine Creative Coloring and Color by Eriy. And yeah, I enjoyed this so much. Like this was the day when I got my Holbein and I wanted to test it out basically on anything in December. So I picked out all the pastel tones for this one and I enjoyed it so much. Like I used some paint pen on her skirt for the magic around her because she's a little fairy. And then I pulled the colors to this side and added a few more. And I also did the painting effect on the lights in the sky. So yeah, I love how adorable this looks. It's one of my favorite pages of the year. Okay, so the next Maria Trolle book that I have is this wonderful book called All the Colors of Christmas in English. It's actually the Dutch edition and the Swedish name is Julens alla Fager, if I'm correct, by Maria Trolle. But this is the Dutch edition because the paper is so nice in this one. So let's see what I colored in this one. This was like an experiment that I did at the end of November and the beginning of December. It was also a gift from my friend, Fungus Love Color on Instagram. So she gifted me this book and I did the last 4 pages in the book. And one of them is actually a buddy with her as well. So let's flip all the way to the back. And let's start with this one. So this is the first not the first page that I did. Let's flip all the way to the back. Let's start in the back because that's where I started. I started with this page because I wanted to see how alcohol markers worked in this book. I also have a video up where I test my supplies, and you can see me doing it. So in case you are interested in that, you can see that in my on my channel. But this is the first one that I did on the 30th of November, and I was playing it with alcohol markers to see how much the paper could handle. And it did really well, in my opinion. Like, you could go straight up till the line and it wouldn't bleed over. Only when you do like make it really juicy and wet, like 5-6 layers or even 7, like really saturated, then it pushed itself out of the line, but only a little smidge, as you can see. So yeah, that's what is for the alcohol markers. So they work wonderfully. Like, my markers ran dry, but that's why it looks a bit splotchy. That's not due to the paper. Then I tried out pastel, like soft pastel for the background. Like, everything on the background is soft pastel, but I fixed it with some fixative spray, and the purple bled through a little bit, and you can also see a little bit of a haze from the pink. So keep that in mind if you use pastel and you fix it, that some colors might shine through on the back. And then I used Holbein on the girl and my Polychromos pencil on the present to test it out, and it works wonderfully. Like, you can see that the Holbein is a bit more waxy and shiny than the present, but it works beautifully on this paper. It doesn't really matter what you use. And then I tested my watercolor. So look at that. It's not that crinkly, as you can see. This is all that it has for crinkles. But I also did not tape it down completely. I only put in a carton paper behind it and clipped it on the side. So all of this was just loose. So probably if you would clip it down, it would stay flat completely. So yeah, I did my watercolor and I used a lot of water on this page, and it did work. But there's some granulation of my watercolor because I use so much water. So that's what you can see over here. But that is just the nature of the watercolor. If you use too much water, some colors will granulate. And that's what happened. That's nothing to do with the paper. The paper handled it really well. It does dry up pretty quick, but it absorbs it also really nicely so that you can get nice blends. But yeah. So that's that one. That was my buddy with my friend, and she is still working on hers, if I'm correct. And then I was like, okay, let's now do some acrylic paint pens. So that's what I did. So the red, the green, and the candles are a paint pen, but all of this is pastel, the soft pastel. And I was just playing around basically. But yeah, I made a big mess, in my opinion. I don't like how this page looks like. But hey, it's another page done, and I had a nice experiment because anything I threw at these pages, it worked. So yeah, in case you were wondering, if you buy a Dutch edition from Maria Trolle's book, then the paper is awesome. So if you would like one of those, then at least you know what to go for. So that's everything I did for Maria Trolle. I do actually have 2 more books of hers, but I have not colored in them for 2025. But they will show up in my collection video, which I will also record very soon. Next up, I've got some books from Fabiana Attanasio, and these are her fairy tale books from 2016, roughly, give or take. And I bought this one on Amazon somewhere in like October, November, I believe. I'm not sure actually. Let's have a look what I colored in this one, because I know I colored in it in November. So yeah, I probably bought it at the end of October because I used it for the Alice in Wonderland theme for November. So I did 3 pages in total. So let me show you them. I did this introduction page on the left with Alice, and I used my Polychromos pencils for this. And as you can see, I used it for the November Met Tea Party, which was also held in 2024, but also 2025. And I'm sure they will also do it next year. So that was the first page that I did in this lovely book. And then I was like, let's do another one. Let's have another go, because I enjoyed it so much. And I actually colored this double page spread with all the animals. As you can see, it's really colorful. And that's exactly what I was going for in this book. Like, let me push it down a little bit. It's still like pretty new. So it's not straight laying flat. But yeah, I really like how I call it Alice. This is also done with only polychromos pencils. And I just literally looked up every animal, like what it would look like in colorful ways. And that's what I just basically copied on the page. I did make some creative decisions, of course, as you can see, because I wanted them all to stand out. So like the mouse or the rat, you could also do brown, but there's already a lot of brown around him. So I decided to go for a gray mouse. And that's basically how I went over all, like the entire page. So yeah, and that's also why the owl is not completely brown as well. And there's also some pink to combine it with the rest of the page. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, but this is all I colored in this book because it's pretty new, as you can see. But that's not the only book that I have from Fabiana. I actually have 2 more of her. And the next one is actually Snow White. And this was a gift from, I don't know. It basically was a gift through Amazon from my wish list. But I have no idea who gave it to me. So if it was you, please let me know. And if not, thank you very much. I adore it. I got this one and the Peter Pan book, but as you can see, I did 2 pages. It's a double page spread of this adorable castle. I saw it and I was immediately sold. Like, it's a wonderful December page. So I did this at the end of December and I used my Holbein pencils. And as you can see, it is taking it wonderfully. This page is very bright and very colorful. Like, I love how it came out. Yeah, I'm in view. I was just checking. I should zoom out maybe a little bit so you can see everything. But yeah, I'm really proud of how it looks like. I did use a alcohol marker to blend out the pencil because there was still a lot of pencil, like paper textures visible, and now it's a lot more smooth. And that was actually my first time that I did that. And as you can see, it did not bleed through at all with the Holbein. So that's good. So that's good to know. Like, that saves you a lot of layers. And I also had an injury to my wrist. So I used my left hand instead of my right hand. So that's also why I want to blend it out, because it was really scratchy, the texture. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. But that's everything I call it in this one. And the 3rd book I have by her is Peter Pan. But I have not colored in it as of yet. So I will not show you that one either. Then the next artist that I have books from is Morgan O'Brien with Matchstick Mouse. And I got 2 books from him. And they're both in this square format, like really cute square format. And the paper is actually different than the Amazon printed books. This is like a little bit thicker, but not by much. And it's also based on a picture book. So that, like, this is the companion to this picture book. So the picture book has the colored background and the coloring book has this background. But yeah, I colored 3 pages in this one. As you can see, there are only 16 pages. That's also a difference with the normal books by Morgan O'Brien. So I did this lovely page, which is a color along on my channel, if I'm correct, which you can find under the Matchstick Mouse playlist. And I'm using the same color scheme throughout the entire book. But yeah, I'm only using my polychromos pencils for this. And I'm trying to keep it really simple. So the next one that I did is actually this one. This was the first page that I did in this lovely book. Also with my polychromos pencils. And I adore this little mouse. I love it so much. Yeah, really nice, simple page. And then this is also a color along that I did for Halloween. Surprise Halloween color along. So you can also find that on my channel under the playlist for Matchstick Mouse. And I decided to follow along with the color scheme that Morgan O'Brien made for his picture book and make it more simple with coloring, like color pencils, also polychromos. So yeah, if you would like to see any of those, you can find them under the Matchstick Mouse playlist. And that's everything I did in this lovely book. And then I've got one more from Matchstick Mouse, which is the Merry Little Christmas coloring book, also the square format. And I also did a color along for this one on page number 9. So let's flip to that one. And it is this lovely page with the fluffy Christmas toy. Like, he unpacked it, like she unpacked it, you see? She's unpacking her package for Christmas. And she's really happy. So yeah, that's also a color along on my channel for Tiny Little Christmas 2025, in case you were wondering. But it's also on the Matchstick Mouse playlist, in case you're looking for it. And that's everything that I have for Matchstick Mouse. And then I have my favorite artist. This was my very first coloring book that I ever bought in 2023, actually. So far before I actually really started coloring in coloring books. But I used to color maybe a few pages each year, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 if I was lucky. Not that many. So there is already a lot colored in this book because of that reason. But you can see I started it on the 19th of January in 2023. And I colored this many pages. You can see that the first 13 pages were already colored in 2025 because this is a different shade. So the other ones were all done before that time. So I did those in 2023 and 2024. But I will still show you them because I wasn't like, how do you say it? Like, noting them down basically. So yeah, I will just show you everything that I've done. Like before I started my YouTube, I only colored with alcohol markers because I couldn't hold my pencils because of some health issues. And now that I can, I wanted to color with my colored pencils again. But this is all alcohol marker, all of these. And these are all like before 2025. Like for this one, I was just done with it. I did what I wanted, which was the cookies and the dragons. And I didn't want to color the rest. So I called it done. And I'm not planning on finishing it either. That is just what it was. It was my journey at the time. So this is also alcohol markers. I also did that back in the day. They're also not dated, so I have no idea when I did them. So they're just easy peasy coloring, as I call it. I just did mostly flat coloring and some shading, as you can tell. But yeah, these are all from back in the day when I didn't color much, as an outlet to at least color something. And this was actually the last one that I did before I started coloring in books. So this is the first one that I did in 2025 in July. And I used my Ohuhu pencils, I believe. Or was this Polychromos? I think it is Polychromos still. But it could be both. I think it's the Polychromos because these shades, like in the Ohuhu, you don't have nice brown tints. So it must be my Polychromos pencils. But yeah, I just did like pencils instead of alcohol markers and I really liked it. So then the next month I did another one, and these are actually with Ohuhu pencils and I really do like it. So yeah, I did one with alcohol markers also in July and I hate how it looks. But I did enjoy myself, like not as much as with the colored pencils. So I went back to colored pencils in August and I did this lovely page. And I follow the color scheme of the artist for that one. And in September, I colored So Many Books, So Little Time. And I adore this artwork. And I also followed the colors that he has on his original as well. Because I had no idea how to otherwise do it. And I enjoy it much more that I copy his color scheme than when I had to make it up myself. And that's how far I've gotten. So I did 18 pages out of the 41. So that is my Draglings coloring book number 1. So I also have number 2. He has 2 coloring books out right now and he's working on number 3 at the moment. So this is the Draglings coloring book number 2. And this one I got in 2024. As you can see, I started it on the 8th of March 2024 and I did 1 page that year. And I did the other one in 2025. So this is the one that I did in 2024 with my alcohol markers, of course, because that's what I did back then. And you can see that I did not really know how to use them that well because I barely started using them back then. It was a learning curve. And then this year I did this one with my Ohuhu pencils. And I again followed the color scheme of the artist because all of these artworks have names. As you can see, they're on the left, but on this one it's also on the picture itself. So you can look them up and then it will show you the artwork. So you can just copy the colors if you don't know what to do. And I enjoy that a lot more. So yeah, that's how I love to color in these books. And that's everything that I did for Randal Spangler. So now we are going to go to R.J. Hampson. And I only own one coloring book from R.J. Hampson because it's Amazon printed and the paper is horrible. I don't like Amazon paper. And the hard book that he sells also through Amazon barely has paper that is barely thicker than this one. So it would still be not the best. So I did 3 pages in this one. And the first one is actually this one that I did in May of 2025. And I used my water-based markers that I tested out because I bought them and I sent them back because I did not like it at all. But yeah, I tested them also on this picture. So that's what I colored here. And I did enjoy myself, but it peeled up the paper really badly. So that was a big no for me. And then the second page that I did was in July. And I was being stupid and I tried watercolor. So you can really tell that the paper has all these crinkles in it and it's damaged completely on every single part. So I made the background black because you could see like the water stains and it was completely a mess. So I went over it with my alcohol markers and some paint pens and called it done. And I'm actually happy with how it looks like right now. Like, yes, it's still crinkly and messy, but it's done and I like it and that's what matters. So then the third picture I did with only alcohol markers, which was this one. I did that in August of 2025. And I enjoyed this so much. Like with the lovely pinks in the sky. And like I didn't really bother that much to make it interesting. I just did like easy coloring basically. I did do some shading with the alcohol markers. And like, yeah, I'm just happy with this one. This is how I would like to color the rest of the book as well, with my alcohol markers. And probably no pencil. So that's everything I've got for R.J. Hampson. Then I have one book by Jill Barklam, which is the illustrator from the Brambly Hedge series books, like the smaller books with all of the stories. There are actually, I think, 8 of them or 6. I'm not sure. But yeah, there are like for every season you have one, I believe. And there are 47 pages in this book. And I did the first one, which is actually this wallpaper page. And I hated coloring it. I did this with my polychromos pencils. But maybe it is because it's the first page that the texture is different. Because this feels a little bit different than the front of this. So that might be the reason why my polychromos didn't feel that nice. But I'm not sure. So then I did another page like further back with watercolor. But I used a really small brush and barely any water, because the moment I used a little bit more water on the bucket and the ship, I got this spickling texture. So you can see some spickles here from bleeding through and here, and I barely used any water on it. So don't use watercolor, people, because you will ruin your book. Like, I know that Lucy Ed's Color did water based pencils and then some water to activate them, and that worked for her. But like, even with that little amount of water, it went straight through. I'm worried, you know, so I wouldn't want to do that on mine. So I will give my polychromos another try and see how it goes in the middle of the book. And otherwise I can also try out my Holbein. But that's everything I've got for the Brambly Hedge. Then the next artist that I've got is Christl Vogls. And this is the only book that I own by her. It's a cute tiny square book, but it's pretty thick, has a lot of pages. And it's called Ausmalreise de Verwunschene Wald, or in English, Coloring Journey, the Enchanted Forest. And it's a double-sided book, and it has 87 pieces to color, pages. It has this lovely binding, and I did 2 double page spreads. Like 2 spreads, not double. They're just spreads. And these 2 are both color alongs on my channel. Let me remove that. It's not letting go. Just leave it. So yeah, these 2 are both color alongs on my channel. So you can find this one separately as the Mushroom Kits. That's the name of it. And this one as the, not sure what I called it actually. But it's all under the Christl Vogls playlist. So you can find both of these as separate color alongs. And I used the same color scheme, as you can see. Just nice autumny colors. And I also did the same color scheme, which you can see over here, which is all polychromos pencils, also on these 2 pages, but these are not color alongs. This is actually the first page that I did these 2 at the same time, and I like it. It's nice and vibrant, but yeah, they're nice and small, so they're not that much work. Like, they can be confusing because there's a lot on the page, but they're really nice to do still. But it's not really a book I gravitate towards that often, but I do actually enjoy it when I do color it. Like, look at those little mousies. Adorable. All right, and then I have my Mythographic collection. I actually have them in this lovely folder. Let's see if you can see them. I'm gonna zoom you out a little bit. Hold on. All right, and I'm back. We're now a bit zoomed out, further than I was before. But yeah, I got them in this lovely folder, and it has this elastic to keep it closed. And when you open it up, it has this binder inside. And then I've got the fronts of the books that I own, like in the front. And then I placed all the pages that I kept behind it. So for each book, I only kept like maybe a third of the pages, the ones that I liked. So I'll show you what I colored for Labyrinth. Oh, it's not working today. I colored this lovely page with the fish. Like, I will take it out for you so you can see it without the glare. And I used a watercolor on the fish as well, and also on the boat with gold. Like, it's all watercolor there, but the base is alcohol marker. And I enjoyed it very much. It's like a mixed media. So I did alcohol markers first, and then I did the watercolor after for some shimmer. So I did that on the 23rd of July. So you can just place them in like this on the inside, from this side. So I put 2 pages of front and back, as you can see. So this is actually a color along on my YouTube channel under the Mythographic playlist. This is all done with alcohol markers. So you can follow this along on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it's called The Tree Lady in my color along. Then the next one that I did was actually a buddy with Color and Create. No, not with Color and Create Vagina. With my friend Fungus Love Color on Instagram. So it's this one. Let me do it like this so you don't see a glare. So I don't have to pull them all out. But I did this with my Polygomos pencils in August of 2025, and I enjoyed it a lot. Apparently those circles in the back is called a bokeh effect. I had no idea that that's how it's called, but I learned something, I guess. I saw that mentioned in some other people's channel, and I was like, oh, so that's how you call that. I had no idea. I had no clue whatsoever. So yeah, then the next page that I actually did in the next book, which is Aviary, is this lovely page for, I think it was for Mermaid and Color the Fairy Tale. Yeah, it was in May. So it was for Color the Fairy Tales, The Little Mermaid, but there were tags like boat, sea creatures and stuff like that. So I thought like, yeah, this is like a boat, like a paper boat, but it's still a boat. And we've got sea creatures like the turtles, but with wings. And I also did this with my Polygomos pencils, and I loved it. I had a lot of fun, but I did not realize that the turtles had wings. So I colored the whole background and did the shells of the turtles. And then I wanted to color them. I was like, what the heck? They've got wings. So yeah, that was a bit funny when I found out. So yeah, that's that one. And then this is actually a buddy with The Art of Momo and my friend Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And I used alcohol markers for this page. Let me pull it up. So yeah, I kept it pretty simple with mostly purple, pink, yellow and blue. With more yellow on the top and more blue on the bottom for some contrast. And some gold paint pen on the swan, basically. Yeah, I tried to keep it pretty simple. So I love using my alcohol markers for my Mythographic pages. So this is the very first body that I ever did with Color and Create with Jana and Jana Banana, actually in April of 2025. So yeah, I used my alcohol markers to base all of this. And then in the sky and on her dress, I used a little bit of colored pencil and also on her wings. But everything else is all alcohol marker. So I only used some in the sky for the purple because it wasn't like the right shade, and on her dress and wings, and that's it. Everything else is alcohol markers, so I'm really happy with that one still. I like it. And then for Space Timber, I did this one as a buddy, also with Color and Create with Jana. Apparently I like doing mythographics with Jana. I had no idea. But yeah, I did this for Space Timber. As you can see, she picked this wonderful page. And since I don't like coloring people any longer, like I used to do a lot of portraits, but not anymore, I thought, yeah, let's do this one because it's cute, you know? So I tried to make this lovely skin color, but this was the first time that I did that with alcohol markers. And I was like, yeah, let's look something up on Pinterest that I like. So I found a picture with roughly this color skin and the eye decoration. And I just went for it. And it was pretty simple in the end. And I'm really proud of what it looks like. I had no idea that I could do that with alcohol markers. But now I do. I underestimated myself, I guess. But I'm really happy with this one. This is one of my favorite pages of the year. Then the next one I did in my mythographic books is in Magical Earth. And it is this one. Let me move it for you. So it is this one, which was a buddy with the Art of Momo and my friend Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And I used my alcohol markers again and some paint pens on top for the magical effect. So I wanted it really dark this time around. And I had a color palette that I picked out from Pinterest. And this is what I made of it. So I was really scared to do the background with the dark colors, but I just went for it and it's beautiful. I love how much like contrast there is with the violin, as if it's making magic. That's what I imagine, the flowers opening up because of the magic of the violin. So that's why I did that one. And then the next one that I did is actually my very first video on my YouTube channel, which is this lovely octopus or whatever it is page with the girl on the swing and the fish. So on my color along, which is also my first video, which was crap, by the way, I only colored like the foreground. So the whole background, like behind them, all the dark bits, I already did before I started filming. And then I filmed how I did the fish, the girl, the swings, and the whole octopus. And yeah, so if you want to see that, you can look back. But that was actually my very first video on YouTube. And I did that on the 12th of May of this year. So yeah, I started my channel in May. But I did really enjoy this. This is all Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. And then in the next book, which is A Wild Summer, I did this lovely page as a buddy with the Art of Momo and Fungus Love Color on Instagram again. Like you see a theme, you know, like I did them all with the same people. But yeah, I really like how this one came out. I used a color palette from Sarah Renee Clark, her old cubes back in like when we didn't have the new one, basically. Because I always use the same colors in all of my pictures, like pink, purple, yellow, you know, turquoise. So I wanted something different this time. And I knew I wanted an orange kitty. So I was like, okay, something with orange and maybe some blue. And it ended up more turquoisey blue. But I do really like how it came out. But the Art of Momo actually used the colors that I would normally use. And it was brilliant. It was so beautiful how it came out. But I am really proud of this one. I really like how it came out. It works. Okay, and then the last one, it's actually not colored by me, but by my sister. But I still wanted to show you it anyway, because it's special to me. And it is this one, the one with the camel. And she colored this. This was the first one that she colored. Because she wanted to try it out to see if she liked it. And she decided she doesn't like it. So yeah, that was in July of this year. Because she also started coloring in coloring books this year. But like a little bit after me. So yeah, that is everything in my mythographic folder. So as you can see, it's pretty thick. It can fit a lot of pages if you use front and back. I even have a video on my channel in which I show you all of this, and I also linked the folder. So just in case you were wondering, there is a video for it. I might try to link it in the description so that you can find it there. All right, and now I've got one more section left for the non-Asian books, which is Disney. Disney color by number to be precise. But I have one normal Disney book, which is a recent addition to my collection, which is this one. It's by Hachette Heroes, which is also the maker of the Color by Number. It's a French company, and they made this lovely book called Une année de coloriage, which basically means a year of coloring. So it has this lovely shiny effect on the front. And I have not finished any page yet, but the idea is, like, it's really lovely bound, as you can see. The idea is that you've got a double page spread for each week of the year. So you've got 53 weeks in the year, and they're all double page spreads. So I call it, I numbered them as if they have 53 pages, but officially you got double that amount because they're all doubles. And this was also a gift from my friend. And I am momentarily having a whip in this one, but I will show you it because I did do this in 2025. And it's this lovely page. It's the movie Home on the Range, which I don't know, but I don't like it because they're all looking sour faces and not happy faces. So that's why I want it done. But as you can see, it's still a whip, but that's okay. This is my book in which I have a whip at all time, and I just slowly chip at it when I feel like doing Disney. And otherwise it will just not be finished for a while. And that's how I like it. But yeah, basically this entire book has double page spreads from every movie that you could possibly think of. Old one, new ones, everything. So yeah, that's everything I did in this lovely book. Just a whip. So no finishes yet, because I only got this recently as a gift from my friend. And now we're gonna go into the Color by Number. And I believe this one was actually the first one that I bought, which is a collector's edition. I also put like plastic around it, that's why it's a bit shiny. But if you see the side, it has this holographic look. And it has a really hard cover, like carton. Like thick cardboard, basically. Like really thick. You can see how thick it is. So yeah, that's what it is made of. Like I cut out some pages to do some testing with mediums. And I color it starting from the front. Oh, it's pretty big, isn't it? Yeah, let's do it like this. But I colored this with alcohol markers, Ohuhu and Copics, in February of 2025. So this is one of the first pages that I actually did when I started coloring. This was one of the first books that I bought, basically. So I did that one. And I did Snow White a lot later in March of this year, also with alcohol markers. So this is all alcohol markers for now, because that's why I bought this book, because it's single-sided. At least the collector's edition is. The normal version is not. Also alcohol markers. Again, alcohol markers for Eriy. And then I went on to paint pens for this one, because I didn't like how my alcohol markers were literally being sucked dry, because it sucks up your ink very, very much. So that's why I didn't like it. So that's why I switched to paint pens. And I did Pocahontas, Jasmine, and I believe I did one more or two more. This was with the Guangna paint markers. The other ones were all with Thule art. So this is when I bought my Guangna. And I did this one. I actually did a few more than I thought I did. And another Jasmine page with Raja. And that's it, I guess. Did I do any more? I don't think I did. Let's have a look. I did two in the back. Oh, I did more. Okay, I did more. Number 15. Yeah, I did those with pencils. These were the Ohuhu pencils. I was testing it out. Like, I written it down over there. Ohuhu pencils, also in February. And I finished it in March because I was so bored of this with the Ohuhu pencils. They are not nice to color on this paper at all. It just doesn't work because it's really smooth paper. And then I did page number 24, also with pencils, but with my Faber-Pastel Polychromos, which is this one. As you can see, I did not blend it out and smoosh it out and blah, blah, blah. But I also did this in February, and I finished it somewhere in March. So I slowly chipped away at it. I do like how it came out, but that's also not what I enjoyed. Like, it does work, but not what I enjoyed. And then I did two pages in the back. And one of them is actually this one, in which I used different mediums for each block. So I believe these ones were the Thule art paint markers. These were the Guangna paint markers. This was alcohol marker, and this is colored pencils. Like, just as an example of what you could do to do a paint by number, a color by number, I mean. And I did this one also with paint pen. So yeah, you can really see that that's alcohol marker. So yeah, and that's everything that I did in this lovely book. So this is like the scratch off list and the back that you can fill in. So yeah, I started this on the 14th of February. So this might be my first book that I bought when I got into it. So that is Princesses, the collector's edition. And then the next book that I bought was Les Grands Classiques, Tome 1, basically. Because I thought, let's just start by number 1, because I had no idea what the difference was between all of them. I did not look at a flip through. I just bought the first one. I was like, yep, let's go. Let's just go. And I started at the front. So basically, I started working in order when I got it in March of 2025. And I used my Tule Art paint markers that I bought specifically for this reason. So yeah, this is all paint pens. So I will just flip. And so you can see all of them. But yeah, I already did a lot of this in this book. I think I'm over halfway by now. And I'm hoping to finish this in 2026. But this is all Tule Art paint markers. And I enjoy doing this a lot when I'm not feeling the best. So yeah, there's a lot done. But I like going in order in these books if it's up to me. But at some point I was doing buddies with my friend, Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And that's when I started to go out of order, basically. So that's when I started skipping pages. But like these are all done so far. And I think we are almost at the point that I haven't done all of them yet. Almost. But you can see that they're pretty simple in this book. Pretty easy to color. Not too many colors. Like I did this one in December. So yeah, and I did this one in June. So you see I skip pages. Like this one I skipped. So that one I still have to come back to. Like there are pages that with characters that she doesn't have in her books. This was my test with the Molotow paint markers and the Tule Art. And it looks fine. Like this is the white paint pen. So yeah, from this point on, I don't have every page colored. So I will just start flipping. Because I did still do almost every page. Like here and there, you know, like with some gaps in between. As you can see. But yeah, I'm planning to fill this entire book up. But yeah, like I said, she doesn't have all the characters that are in my book. So I'm skipping pages that she doesn't have. So I can do them on my own. Like this one. I can also do that on my own. And these two are also ones that I did myself. A Bug's Life. And then I did 2 pages again. I really like this one. With the small elephant from Jungle Book? Yes, Jungle Book. Robin Hood. And now I have to flip a little bit because I skipped a whole lot. I did this one, which is Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. And from this point onwards, I only have like a few here and there done. So I did this one. And I did one with Scar. This one. I really like the result of this one with the little mouse. And then I think that's all I did. Let's have a look in the back. Because there's a scratch off page in the back. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I did, you see? So I did a lot in the beginning of the book. And I've got all of these left. So that's my plan for next year to finish off this book. So I've got a group buddy going to help me finish this book. So I picked 3 characters each month. Hopefully like a villain, a good guy, and a random character. And that's how I want to finish this one. But after that, I decided to buy 4 more books. So I bought The Beauty and the Beast. And The Little Mermaid. I will show you them first. Tome 11, which is really beautiful. And Princesses, Tome 2. So these were my recent additions to my collection of Disney color by number books. And I've only done a few in each. So I started in the beginning or in the back for most of them, not all of them. So for this one, I started in the front and I only did this page. But the colors are completely different than the movie. So I changed up the colors for this one. Because her hair was supposed to be some weird lime green. Like I will show you the solution in the back for that page. Like look, you see that lime green tone? The colors are off for some reason. And the same with this one. Like the lightning is also that same weird green. So I should really check what the pictures look like in the back before I color any more. So this is the only one that I did in this one, as you can see. They're also single-sided, this book. The movie books are single-sided. So that's everything I did in Beauty and the Beast, which is my favorite movie. And then my other favorite movie is The Little Mermaid. So that's why I bought this one. But on this one, I started in the back just to change it up. And this one has only single pages as well. But this one has this on the left. So that is different than the other books. Like you see, every page has that. So you can pick out your colors. So that's what I did from the back onwards. So I did this also with paint pens. But I combined my Tuli art and my Guangna just to finish them up basically. But yeah, I do like how it came out. But this one does not have all the lines in black. So I made most of them black except for the hair, because otherwise you don't see them. But yeah, I written down which ones are meant for lines. So I striped it up, unless there's somewhere else in the picture that it's used. So that's where I written that down. That's also the colors that I used. But I only did this one in The Little Mermaid. But yeah, they're also 50 pages, which is basically single-sided as well. Then in tome 11, I did a few. I did 3 pages, I believe. But they are randomly throughout the book. So let's flip to the first one, which is this tree lady from Fantasia, with my Tuli art paint markers. And then I did a double page in the middle of the book, almost in the middle of the book, which is from The Incredibles. Like, it's a double, like it's pretty big. Let me show you it like this. But it has a lot of detail as well. But I used my Molotow and my Tuli art paint markers, because I've got a red Tuli art paint marker and a black one. But yeah, you can see all these tiny details. Like, this one is way more detailed and has way more colors than the previous ones that I showed you. So that's everything that I did in this lovely book. So only 3 pages. They were buddies with my friend as well. And then my newest edition, Princesses Tome 2, which I adore. I just started in the beginning of the book. But this one is pretty complicated. It has a lot of colors. Like, look at this. Look at all of these colors, because it's a double. And you've got all of these colors. So I written them all down on a separate piece of paper with the paint markers that I was using. But yeah, you can see how much spaces there are and how detailed it is. But I adore the end result. And you can also see that the lines are definitely not all black. So I followed the color scheme to a T with this one, because I had no idea which colors were used where. And it's too difficult to find out with such detailed pages. But there are a lot of double pages with multiple princesses in this one. You see? There's like a lot of double page spreads, but also one with more princesses. Let's see if I... Yeah, see? This one, for instance, with 3 princesses. That's like what is new in this book. But there's a lot of doubles, and it's pretty detailed. So, and a lot of colors as well. So if you don't like that, don't get this one. And that is everything that I have for my non-Asian books, people. So yeah, that was a pretty long sitting anyway. But I'm afraid my Asian books part will be even longer, because I have a lot of Asian books by now, after I collected so many throughout the year. The next artist that I have is Aeppol, a Korean artist, which is known for her Forest Girl series, which is this one. This lovely girl with her dog and a little squirrel friend. And this is the first book in the series. There are actually 4 books, and I've got all of them. And this was the first one that I bought, I think. Yes. And I did 2 pages, as you can see. I only do 1 page at a time in this book, because it has the original artwork on the left, as you can see. So this is the original. And I like to make like these palettes in my Korean books on the left, so I know which colors I used. These are all Polychromos pencils, Faber-Castell Polychromos. And I did this between the 2nd, the 5th, and the 6th of April in 2025. And this is what I made of it. Like, it is really tough coloring with Polychromos on this pencil. Or on this paper, I'm sorry. Because it's pretty slick. It's pretty like a smooth paper. Like, really, like, it has a bit of a protective coating or something on it. So I think I might also want to try some watercolor in the future. But on this one, I only did colored pencils. And yeah, you can see it's really shiny, because I did so many layers with my pencils. But it does look amazing. Like, look at the girl. I did some paint pen on her dress and her hair. And also for the rain outside, as you can tell. But yeah, I'm really proud of this one. Like, this for me is still a little bit of a challenge to see if I can recreate the original, or at least make it look like it, because mine is more vibrant than the original, more bluish tone, and more like that one is a lot darker and more grayish, and I like it more vibrant. So I did take some liberties in like how I wanted to recreate it, but I think it was really nice. And then I did one more in this book, which was actually a buddy with Coloring Bumblebee in September. And it is this lovely page. So I did try to recreate the original, as you can tell, but I also did some creative liberty on some of the shades, because I didn't have the right shades for everything. I mainly used, I only used Polychromos pencil, but I made the dog way too yellow, orangey. It should have been more muted tone. Like, look at that. That is how it's supposed to be. Mine is almost like, it's almost giving light. So yeah, therefore I am not really in love with it, but when you only look at it like this, it's not that bad. But it's a shame that I picked the wrong colors. It's just too bright. But look at the girl, like so cute. I do like this page. Like, these are not my usual colors with the browns and the red tones and the orangey tones, but I love it. Absolutely adorable. So I am proud of the outcome, even though it feels like it's a light bulb. So that's all I did in the first book from Aeppol. Then let's move on to the second book that I own of her, which is a hardcover. And it's also bigger than the previous one. Let me show you. Like, this is the size of the first one. And like, see, it's a bit taller and also wider. And the paper is also different inside. So when you look inside, like, I only did one, as you can tell again. And like, see how thick it is? It's almost like a cardstock, like really thick paper. And it doesn't handle watercolor well, because that's exactly what I tried. Because when you see this premium edition, you're like, oh, I can do watercolor. No, think again. You don't want to do that. And if you do, be really careful, because the moment I made it wet, the paper started rubbing off. Basically, you got like these little rolls of like paper coming off immediately when I made it wet. Even when drying in between, you can really see that the paper has like damaged all over the place, everywhere. Like, probably if I would have left it and then waited for it to dry and then do it again, it might have been a little bit better, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then I went with pencil on top. So I did a mixture. So I started with watercolor and then Polychromos on top. I do like the bunnies, and for especially her. I love her. And the little doggy and the squirrel. Look at them. Just look. They're my favorite, those little ones. But yeah, I am proud of how it looked like. Like, this is the original. And I try to make like almost everything roughly the same color. But it's not exact, but it's pretty close in my opinion. I did change a little bit on the bunnies. Like, I made them a lot lighter, and the clothing, the cloth below them is more salmony pink instead of pink. Don't know why I did that, but that's just how it came out. I think I just liked that better or something. I guess I was using it for those, and I just went on. So yeah, I'm really proud of this one, even though it wasn't like the best experience. Let's say it like that. I did enjoy the pencil part though. So that's the only one that I did in the second one by Aeppol. And the third book that I have of her is this one. That is called Coloring Book of the Four Seasons. Is this the third one? This is the fourth one, Polly. Let's take a step back. This is number 3. This is number 3. Moments Wholly for Yourself. You see, that's what it is called. And this is the only one that doesn't say Forest Girl on the front. But it does say Coloring Book of the Forest over there. So, but this is actually the third book. And I also did only one page in this one. As you can see, I got this in June, apparently. And I did page 24. So this is again the really smooth paper. And I did this one, the Red Gate. Like, you also have English translation in this one. Not every book has the translations. But this is one of them. And as you can see, these are all the colors that I used, which are Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. And this is actually a color along on my channel. Like, I showed you how to do like this half of the page. And then I did this one myself, I think, or the other way around. I'm not sure. I think I did the left side for the color along part. And then I did the other side off screen. And then I finished off everything like together again. So I only show you like this side probably. So, and this is exactly the same. So then you can test if you know what to do, what you did there, if you can replicate it on the other side, because it's almost a copy. And then the girl and this I did together again on the color along. So yeah, if you would like to see that, you can check it out on the Forest Girl or Aeppol playlist in my playlist section. So yeah, I really like how this one came out. I'm really proud of the stones where she sits on. Like, I just like it. It's not my most favorite page of the book, but I thought it was suitable for a color along. That's why I did it. So that is the third coloring book by Aeppol. And then now we're going to go to the coloring book of the 4 seasons, because this is number 4. And recently I saw that there's also a Japanese version that came out with a different cover. It actually has balloons on it with purple and blue. It's the same book as this one. So don't think that that's a new one. No, it is the same one as this one. Only this is the Korean version and that's the Japanese version. Just so that you are aware that there's a difference. And I also did 1 page, because that's what I did when I bought books. I just did 1 page, moved it to the side, because I was buying a lot of books this year. So I did 1 page, moved along to the next one. And I did this one, but as you can see, I changed the colors to the original. The original is really dark and moody and a gray brownish dress. And I didn't really like the dress. I like the background, but I like it better if it's lighter. So that's exactly what I did. Like, I think this is my sister, because I'm a triplet. My sister likes to go for these kind of tones, like the muted ones. And I go for the bright colors. So this is me. And that's her. That's basically how I do it. And again, I made my color scheme over here, as I always do. So that if I want to use it again, I know exactly which ones to pick. And I like it. I like how she came out. Like, I also like how I did the little berries and the flowers. So yeah, that was the only one that I did in this lovely book by Aeppol. The next artist that I've got for you is Green Ivy, which is also a Korean artist, and this is I think this is the most known book by her, which was her first book, which is Beautiful Days of Green Ivy, 4 Seasons coloring book by Green Ivy. So I've written down the translation on my book, because I don't mind, basically, and I translated like the introduction, and then I've got my overview page of which ones I did. I did 4 pages in this one. So let's show them to you. I started this book in May of 2025. And the first one that I did is this lovely page. Let me move it to the side of you. And this one is the same story as my Aeppol book, basically. Like, this is the original, which is really like brown tones, muted. That is my sister. And this is me, because I like colors. Like, yes, we're not as messy as this, but you get the idea. I like all the bright, the vibrant colors, and she likes all the muted, and like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Muted colors, brown, like muted gray, muted green, muted orange, taupe, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one. These are the pencils that I used. They're all Polychromos pencils. If I didn't write it down, it was Polychromos, because at the time I only had Polychromos. And I usually do like really light layers of pencil on this. And I go over some lines with a black colored pencil at the end to make it more strong, like in your face, that it stands out more, basically. So yeah, I really like this. That is the first page that I did in this book. Oh, the next one is also like this. Oh no, not this one. Okay. Then this was a buddy with my friend, Fungus Love Color on Instagram. This is again the colors that I used. This time I did write down that it's Polychromos. So yeah, I did them like this because the orientation of the page is like this. And this is how I made it. Like, I love this book because I got a black cat. So that's why I make it a black cat as well, just like as in the picture. And yeah, I didn't like the dress. So I made a lighter version of it, like more pastel version. And I love it. I really like it. Like, I didn't do much with the background. I only did some pink on the floor. And that's it. I kept it really simple, but I like it. It's nice and simple. So that's the second page that I did. And then the third one is actually the other way around, which is also a buddy with Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And this is like the palette that I use. So now you can see that I bought the Ohuhu pencils. And I used Polychromos and Ohuhu alongside each other. And they work really nice together, basically. They're all, both oil pencils. This is the original, the artist, which is really nice in my opinion. The colors are nice, but still I changed it to this. Even though the color scheme that she did was really nice. And I love the little cat. Look at him. Oh, so adorable. Like spraying to the little chicks, little duckies. So cute. And the lovely sunglasses in the heart-shaped form. I love this page. It's so wonderful. And for the flowers, I mostly did just go over the lines with a color. And some I colored in, but not all of them, as you can see. I did more like line art coloring on some of the parts of the pages to keep it really light. So that is that one. And then I did one more, I believe. Yes. Oh, it's also this way. This is the original. It's really like an autumn scene with brown leaves. I didn't like it. I also didn't like the pattern. So I thought, let's change it. So these are the colors that I used. And this is what I made of it. This is a color along on my channel, which I did because people requested a color along in the Four Seasons coloring book. And I might do another one this year. So that's still on the planning to do another one in this book. But yeah, I love the pastel look. And that's what I like to do in these kind of books. I just like to change it up for this one at least. For the Aeppol, I copy. But for this one, I do my own thing. Because I'm not really a fan of the muted palettes that she chooses. Then the second book by the same artist is a hardback again. See, again a hardback. It's also a little bit bigger. Let me show you. Not by much, but it is bigger, like see. So it's only a little bit taller and a little bit wider. Yeah, also a little bit wider. So like a teensy bit, see? Like a tiny bit wider and a tiny bit taller. But besides that, it's almost the same size. It is thicker because the paper is different. It's thicker paper, but it's so beautiful with the flower paper in the beginning. And then I made my overview. As you can see, I already done 6 pages in this one. So a bit more than the first one. Because this is my book that I just grab if I'm not feeling the best, but I still want to be creative. Then this is my go-to artist. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, the paper. The paper, like look how thick. Again, like cardstock. Really thick. So it's really beautiful. So if you were thinking about buying one, you might want to buy this one. Even though I think the pictures in the other two are even better for my taste, you know, I like them even better. So I did this one in May of 2025 and it's called Like a Sunflower, and that's exactly what I did, sunflower style. I did make it a bit more vibrant, as I always do. Like I changed the dress from this muted brownie tone to just pinks, but salmon pink, so still muted, not too much, and I love it. It's so happy, like look at them being a sunflower. It's adorable. I love it. Then the next one that I did is this door page, and it's called Knock Knock. So this is the original, and this is what I did. And as you can see, I used a mixture of Polychromos and Ohuhu, but I see most of them are actually Ohuhu. There's only like 2 Polychromos pencils on this one. So it's a limited color palette this time, but I do like it. Like, look at that. I tried to use washi tape on the dress, but I couldn't get it done. So in the end, I just colored it. And I made these like little dots on them, just to make it a bit more apparent that it's like not white anymore. So that's the one that I did. Then the next one that I did is actually this page. And look how moody that is. That is just such a moody page. And I decided to go a little bit different than what I usually do. So my base color was blue and yellow. And I built from that in because of the balloons. I wanted some more colors. So I reused most of the colors throughout the page. And I think it looks really lovely. Even though I didn't really blend much at all. Look, you can really see the paper texture and my pencil strokes. And I just embrace it, basically. That's what I'm doing with this one. I don't want to go in and make it all smooth, blend it all out. That's not what this book is for. This book is for relaxing and doing like just tiny, sweet little projects, which I really enjoy. And then this October, I did this lovely page. So this is what I made of it. Really vibrant again, as you can tell. But the original is really muted, which I also like. I really like how the pumpkins are colored. And I use polychromos pencils, as you can tell. So I will put it like this so you can see both of it at the same time. But yeah, I love it. I love how it came out. Like, I was just thinking that she is a witch because it's October, you know, it's Halloween time. So I pretended that this is her head, even though it's supposed to be like one of those like straw hats or something, you know, like the woven ones. But I thought, no, it's her witch head. That's why I made it the same color as her dress. And I like it. Really cute. So yeah, that is another one done in this book. Oh, again, this side. This I think is a color along on my channel. Yes, I even written it down, color along. So this is on my channel. So if you want to color this with me, you can find it under the Green Ivy playlist. This is the original. And these are all the colors that I use. But as you can see, I mainly use polychromos and a few, like one Prismacolor and 3 chromaflones and 1 Holbein. So they're a bit of a, you know, a bit of a mix. That's not something I do a lot when I do color alongs. So that I did that here is actually an exception. Let's see, is the next one also like that? Yeah, it is. So this is the last one that I did in this book. This is how I made it. Nice and colorful again. But as you can see, the original is again really muted. Like almost gray, as if it's a grayscale, but with some colors. And I am just a fan of color, so I made this. But yeah, I love this. I really like her books. I'm also a big fan of Green Ivy. So we've got one more from the same artist. That is the last book that just came out. Didn't come out that long ago, which is this one. And this one is my favorite. Like at first it was the Four Seasons coloring book. But now that this one is out, this is my new favorite. As you can see, I got it in July. I believe it came out the end of June or something. Or halfway through July, I'm not sure. Because I wouldn't be able to get it straight away. I asked for it. That they order them in, basically from Korea. So I only did 1 page in this one because I bought it and I colored in it and then put it to the side because I was focusing on the other books. And this is the page that I did. As you can see, it's still like not really wanting to stay flat because it's so new. But this is the one that I did. As you can see, I used a combination of Aeppol pencils and polychromos. I really like to use my pastels in this one, but still really vibrant. Look at that. That's vibrant. That's not just pastel. It's a combination. But I love it. I love how this looks like. I made it like as if the sun is shining upwards with beams. And I love it. I am so in love with this page. It's gorgeous. I really like it. Like, even the original is nice, but I like mine even better. Which is good, because it's my coloring book, isn't it? So yeah, that is everything that I have from Green Ivy. So what's next, you might ask? So the next artist that I have is Salt, or Unby Park, as you can see. So this is the illustrator, like, what do you call that? A chosen name, and this is the real name from the person who made these books. And it's called Desert Fox Sogeomi, or Sogeomi, Warm Four Seasons coloring book. This was the first one in the series. There are 2. And there's one coming out this year, 2026. I read the post that she did in Instagram, because I'm part of a group where she shows like the new coloring pages. And she posted a message with a picture of a postcard book, which we cannot get, by the way, because there's only on a festival in Seoul, in Japan or Korea. I'm not sure. Korea, I think. Korea. And so she only sells it on the fair, and not like online or anything. But the new coloring book is coming in 2026, he said, because it was meant to be a December release of 2025, but it has been delayed because they're overwhelmed and they had too much to do. So it will be coming in 2026, so that's awesome. So I only did 1 page in this one, because this was early on in the year when I was buying a lot of books, and I just did 1 page in each book and then put it aside. So I did the second to last page. Probably because I didn't like this one as much. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm not a huge fan of this page because of the building. I don't like buildings. Even though this is a nice building. It's a Japanese style. Well, Korean style. Yeah, it's roughly the same in my opinion. But it probably isn't. But to me, it looks like the same. I don't know the difference, but anyway, I try to replicate it, but mine is of course brighter because I like my bright colors. And these are the colors that I use. So this time around I did them in the bottom, but I don't think I did that later on in my other book. I only did it with this one in this book. So this I did in March of 2025 with my Polychromos pencils. And I do like how it came out, and it took it quite well, this paper. Much better than the Aeppol books. So that is the only one that I did in the Warm for Seasons coloring book by Salt. And then there's one more right now in the series, which is this one. And this one is called Desert Fox Sogeomi Mysterious Journey coloring book. So here we're going on a mysterious journey. So we're going all around the world to all kind of places. And I like this as well, but this is my focus book at the moment until I'm like bored of it and I switch that for the other one. But as you can see, I did 5 pages in this one, and I got this one in July. So the other one was in March. So this one came a bit later because I only bought one at a time from each artist, and then when I liked it, I would buy more. So that's what I also did for this illustrator because I'm in love with this one. This is like a brainless no buy or must buy. That's how you call it, right? A must buy. So I did this page. So this is mine and this is the original, like just in case you didn't notice which was which. Because they look quite similar, even though mine is definitely different than the original. But I did this one because Coloring Bumblebee started this page on her live stream. And I was like, oh, that's nice, because I was sitting in bed at the time, not feeling the best. So I was like, oh, let's grab my book, because I've got this lap table on my bed, basically, which is always to the side of my bed. Because it's like a leftover relic from when my health was really bad. Then I had to do stuff in bed, so that's why I bought it back then. So now, sometimes in the evening, when I want to color something, but am not feeling the best, I might already go to bed after dinner. So that's really early on. And then I sometimes want to color in bed. And that's when I started this page. And I finished it the day after the stream. But yeah, I like how it came out. Like, look at him, being a pirate. I love it. And I also use some paint pens for the light effects that are everywhere, and also for the river. I really like the waterfall. Look at that. I like how I made it. Like, I think it's meant to be like a waterfall or misty background where they come through. Like, so if you're going under the water and then come through, you know, like what they have in the attraction park, like the play park. What do you call it? Amusement park. That's what it's called. Yes, Pauline, that's what it's called. And the next one that I did is this page. This is in, oh my god, where is this? Australia? I don't know. I lost it. I think it is a well-known place, but I'm losing it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I tried to replicate it, but mine is much more blue toned than the muted purple that they did. Like, look at that. There's so much layering on this page that it's even shiny. Even with my Polychromos pencils. Like, what the hell? That's how much layers I did. Because this paper, it does take it well, but it also doesn't at the same time. I really like how I did the tiles with all the colors in it. Like, just like with the example, also had a lot of colors. But mine is not correct. Like, look at this. This is not like this. You know what I mean? But at some point I was just done with it. And I didn't want to do anymore. Like, but I am happy with the result. So I am happy with what I got done and what it looks like. But it's definitely not the same as the original. But I am really happy with it. So that's good. So then the next one that I did was this lovely panda page. As you can see, I chose brighter greens, as I always do. But I kept everything else roughly the same. So I had a lot of fun with this one. I did this one after the one where they were on the river. I did this the next day after I finished the first one. I was on such a roll that I was like, yeah, I want to do another one. Which one? Pandas. Yes, let's go. Like, look at him. Oh, so cute. I love them together. I really adore these books. And then I did this one, which I have to be careful because it's like coming loose. Because my cat, she decided to sit on it. And then what happened is it pushed the cover from the binding. So it's a bit destroyed. So like now it's loose. So some pages in the end come loose. So I have to be careful. So I colored this one. As you can see, I kept it really light. And I love it. Like I tried to replicate the left page, as you can tell, but it's not bad, but it's just a lighter version of what they did. But I did try to make like the streaky appearance that they did. I tried to make that as well. So I kept all my lines in the same direction. And I did these lines with some paint pen to make them more visible. But yeah, I love this page. This was like a no-brainer. This was like during a Space Timber. And I was like, yeah, this is Space Timber, my style. Like, let's go. I loved it. I loved it so much. Still do. And then for October, I did this page. This is like one of the only, or maybe the only page in this book. Maybe there's another one. I'm not sure. There's either 2 in this one or 2 in the other one. I'm not sure. Like one of them had only 1, but I think it might be this one. Not sure. But yeah, this also took a lot of layers. As you can see, like, look at the shine. But I really like how it came out. Like, I like the light effect that I made on the tree. And on here, like this. I used paint pens for that after the fact. And I smudged it. Like, some lines I just drew in. And others I used my finger. Like here, I used my fingers to smudge it a bit. But I also try to keep it white while coloring. So that it is softer. Like over here, I did that as well. Like that's just pencil. That's not like paint pen. Only the white. And the white here is also paint pen. So you can see it a bit smudgy. But it also looks smudgy over here. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to do roughly the same. But yeah, I love this page. I really like it. Is this the last one in the book? Yes. Oh, I did a test as well in this one with some water-based markers probably. Yeah, so that is everything that I did in this lovely book. So, what else do we have? My next artist is also a Korean artist, and his name, I believe it's a him, is Jeon Seonjin. So, this is how you write it in English. And if I'm correct, it's pronounced Jeon Seonjin. So you don't pronounce the E, basically. And this is like one of the newest books that I got from him. But this was the first book that he published, if I'm correct. This is like the oldest one. And it's the Midwinter Sunshine Coloring Book by Jeon Seonjin. And let me show you the inside. Like it has an overview of all the pages in the book. And usually there are 30 pages in it. As you can see, I literally got this one in December of last year. And I did 1 page in it in December as well. So let me show you that. I did this lovely page, which is a buddy with coloring bumblebee. And yeah, I loved it. I loved every step of it. I did decide to go a little bit off like what they did, but not exactly. Some of the patterns I left out and others I replicated because I thought it was too busy on this side on the original. So I tried to dim it down a little bit on mine. But I do like how it came out, especially the reindeer. Like, look at how cute they are with all the little cookies. Yeah, really cute. But I will leave this in because I still want to do something else with this. So that is the only one that I did in this book. I'm literally, I think I only done 1 in most of them. I got a lot of them. This is the Spring Sunshine Coloring Book, also by the same artist. And in this one, I also did 1 page. As you can see, this one has a few pages less. So this one only had 27, see? 27 pages. So usually it has 30 pages, and this one has 27. So I did 1 page, and it is one that I don't like because it's red underneath. So these ones I do not like. So there are only like 3 left that I do not like as much. Oh no, 4, because there's another one. So I did this one in November. And as you can see, you know exactly why I don't like this page. It's just a still life, basically, with some teapot and a teacup and flowers in a face. But I did enjoy coloring it very much, even though it's like completely boring, you know, it's like a boring picture, but I loved coloring it, and I can't explain why. I just loved it. I don't know why. It just happened, okay? It just happened. But yeah, I do like these books a lot. Like, look how cute they are. See? So cute. And really colorful. And that's why I got a lot of these. Because at first I only got 1. And then because I love them so much. And they're like easy coloring, I bought loads more. So now I've got 6 of them. And I got one for every season, basically. This is called the Midsummer coloring book by Jeon Seonjin. And this one was, when I looked for it, it wasn't on sale anymore. I was like, oh no, did I miss my chance? But no, it came back like a few months later. So that's when I bought it. So I'm really happy to have this one. But hold up, let's go back. Like, this is the overview, 30 pages again, and I only did one. I started this in July. So, and this is the page that I've done, which is adorable. Like, this time I did go for the same color scheme again, which I love to do in these kind of books. Because this is my easy comfort coloring, you know. You just do what you're being told on this side, you do that over there, and you're done. So that's what I use them for like, still wanting to color something but don't want to think about colors. That's what these books are perfect for. They might take you still quite some time, as you can see, but it's so much fun. Like, look at all these hamsters. Look at them. They're adorable. They're literally everywhere. Look at them. See? Hiding. Everywhere. Like this. It's adorable. That's why I love these books so much. That's why I got 6 of them. Like, that's a lot. I think I only missed one, but that's the newest one, and I'm not a fan of that one. But this is the autumn one for the autumn season. So it's Kat's autumn coloring book. And in this one, I think I did 2. This is the only one that I did 2 in. Yes, and there's also 30 pages. This one I got in April. So this was one of the first ones that I actually got. Not the first one, the second one I got, I think. Yes. And I did this lovely page for Color the Fairy Tales in August for the prompt suites. Well, that is pretty obvious why. And again, I tried to replicate the left side on the right. And I am in love with it. Like, I like the flowers. That mine are a little bit lighter. It's okay. That's not the problem, you know. I just like it. I like the colorfulness of the artist. Like, he makes wonderful decisions on like where to put color. And I just like to copy it. I don't want to change it. I just want it to be exactly the same. So that's one. And then I also did this one. But as you can see, I had a bit of trouble like picking out my color. So it's not exactly the same. And I thought, let's make an ugly duckling. But look at him. He's really ugly. Like, what the hell did I do? Like, that's not even an ugly duckling anymore. That's worse than that. But anyway, I love it anyway. This is the one I did in April, apparently, of 2025. But they are adorable. But these patterns, you have to draw them in yourself. Same with these. They don't have lines for the shape, like the shapes that you've got here in this. They come blank. So you have to draw those in yourself if you want them. So that's what I did. So yeah, I love doing it, even though the colors are not the same. But it's still nice. So that's everything that I did in the autumn one. And then we've got a special edition, I think, because this is all pandas. So it's a bit different. This is just panda families for season. So this means all the seasons are in this book, but with the panda family. So this is like a special one, in my opinion, because the other ones are all seasonal. And this one has the panda family in all seasons. So there's, again, 30 pages. I did one, which I did in October, so not too long ago, for Halloween. And it is this lovely Halloween page. When I saw this page, I was in love. And sometimes you just want to do your favorite first. I was like, let's do it. So that's what I did. And I did change the colors on the grass mainly to be a little bit brighter. And the sky is also pretty bright in my opinion. But everything is bright in this page. But I mainly did the grass brighter. And I love it. My favorite part of this page is actually the little girl with her like her little sweets. And mommy like steering in the cauldron. Like, look at them. They're also really happy. Like, he's also cute. The little boy. I think at least it's a boy. Maybe it's a girl as well. Who knows? But yeah, that is the only one that I did in the Panda family coloring book. It's adorable. Stinking adorable. And then I've got one of the newest releases, which is the summer travel coloring book, which is this lovely one. But this one is a bit different than the other ones that I own. And there are a few that I do not like in this book. But I thought I saw a flip through of it, but apparently I did not look at the right one. But still, there are only 5 pages that I don't like out of the 30. So it's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad at all. And I got this in November. At the end of November, I colored it. And I only did 1 page. and it is the one I liked the least in the entire book, and that's this one. And it took so much layering on this page. But yeah, as you can see, the colors are not exactly the same, but I brightened up the sky a bit, added in some more color in the buildings, because I thought it was really dark on the left. But I did mainly keep it the same, like the characters I tried to do roughly the same. Like, look at them. That's my favorite part of the entire page. Look at those bunnies. Like, oh yeah. Like, I think they're celebrating New Year or something with the fireworks. Or some other festival. I don't know, because maybe I should translate that to see what it says. I haven't done that in these books. But yeah, I am happy with how it came out. Even though it's not a page I would like prefer, I still enjoy them, even though they're not my preferred pages. And that's why I don't mind having so many books of this artist. And even pages that I don't like, I will still color because I like doing it. So yeah, that is Jeon Seonjin. And then we go to the next one. So let's start with the biggest series that I have, which is the Tokimeku series, which is a Japanese coloring book series, which I adore. So this is the first one that I'm going to show you today, which is called A Rabbit's Fairy Tale Fantasy Coloring Book by Trolle. They're all the same format. And as you can see, I always make an overview in the beginning to see what I've done. And we see that I've done 4 pages. And I marked them, so we can flip straight to it. And this is the first double page spread that I did in this book. Let me put my cup right, because I've got a cup with all my bookmarks, so I can put them in there while we're talking. All right, I think I have it settled now. Yes, thank you. Okay, so this was the very first one that I did in this bunny book. I did this on the 23rd of March, actually. So this is one of the first pages that I did when I started coloring in coloring books. And I decided to keep it really simple, pastel, cute. So that's exactly what I did. And I'm really happy with this page. I still am. But yeah, I wasn't really keen on all the keys. I did like all the flowers and the bunnies, but not the keys. So, but I did enjoy coloring it. So that is actually the first double page that I did. And then the second one that I did is actually this one, which I do not like the end result of. I just picked some colors and I was just coloring away, but my mind was not there. So it's a bit of a mess in my opinion, but hey, it's colored, you know, like I don't know what I was doing. But yeah, I did it for Color the Fairy Tales for the month of September, actually. For the prompts Hare / Rabbit, Star and Necklace, which is all on this page. So yeah, that is everything that I did in the Rabbit's coloring book. In the Rabbit's Fairy Tale Fantasy coloring book. And yeah, I hope to color many more in the next year together with my sister, because it's actually a buddy book with my sister. Then the second book that I have to show you for this series is The Friendly Squirrels and the Residents of Antique Town by Mona. This is my favorite book out of my entire collection. But as you can see, I have not colored that much in this one yet. And that's also because it was one of the first ones that I started on the 18th of March. But also because it's my favorite and I first wanted to color one in every book. So I did not come back to this one because there was too much to do. So I did 3 pages in this one. I did watercolor and colored pencils on top. And this was actually the first one that I did to test it out if I could actually use watercolor. So that is why I picked this page, because there's only like, you know, instructions on the back. So I thought if I want to do it on this one. If it bleeds through, no big deal. But it doesn't. It works wonderfully with watercolor. So I did my watercolor from Paul Ruben plus Polychromos on top. And I like it. I really like it. This is the whole family that comes in this story. Like all of the characters come back in the story basically. And the other page that I did was actually these 2, which is a color along on my channel. But unfortunately, part 2 doesn't have sound, if I'm correct. So part 1 was with the watercolor. And part 2 is what I did with colored pencils on top. And the sound is completely gone for some reason. So I couldn't fix it, but it's still up there in case you just want to watch. Because I do show every pencil that I use on screen. So you can still color along. It will just be a silent color along for the second part. But the first part is with talking, just so that you know. I like cherry color alongs, just so that you are aware. I also did this for Color the Fairy Tales in August for the prompt baking. And it's a bakery, so it was wonderful to do. I really like the end result, but I really would like to color a lot more in this book next year, because it's my favorite book. The next one in the Tokimeku series is the Polar Bear Adventure Cruise by Shiratori Yuki. And for this one, I actually did 7 pages in total so far. So let me show you them. I did this double this spread. So this was a buddy with Kate's coloring pages, and I enjoyed it so much. I used my Holbein colored pencils because I bought them in November. So in December I did a lot of Holbein pages. So this is all Holbein. And then I was like, yeah, but I also want to do this side, which we all know by now that I like doing both sides. So again, I used my Holbein pencils. But for this one, I also used some paint pen here in the middle and on this part, because there was Japanese on there, and I translated it with like one of those apps that you can take a picture and it will translate it for you. And this is what it said. So that's why I written it down with paint. And that's how I came up with that. And I do like it, even though this is not really my color scheme normally, but I wanted to go and do something different for a change. Then I did this filler page, as I call it, and I was testing out all kinds of colored pencils, like all the open stock pencils that I bought, basically like Holbein, Derwent Chromaflow, Derwent Lightfast, Pro Color, Prismacolor, you name it. Everything that you can think of that's open stock is on this page. The Goldfarber, the black one, all of it. So that's how I colored this page, by just testing out my pencils. And it looks amazing, in my opinion. Like I only chose colors that I really liked for the testing. So that's good, because then I can still use them, even if I don't want to buy more of that set. And then this is the double page that I actually did in this book. And I saw somebody do something similar with the trees and the characters, but I changed up the background because I changed the color of my mountains. And so yeah, it's all pastel. And I adore this page. It's such an adorable page. Like, look at them. So cute. But yeah, I used my Polychromos pencils for this one. But it is adorable. So yeah, that was the first one that I actually did. But there are big scratches from my cat, like straight over the page like this. That's a bit of a sad story, I guess. But like, if you just look, normally you won't see it. And then this is one of the pages that I did second. And this was a buddy with Color and Create with Jana. Why didn't I write that down? I only written down the date, but not that it was a buddy. But I know it was. So I should write that down. But anyway, this was a buddy, and I decided to go for all the colors because I couldn't pick. So I was like, yep, let's do the whole entire rainbow. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm really happy with the result. It's still cohesive for some reason, even though it was just me playing around, basically. And I love it. Yeah. And that's everything I did in this wonderful book, I think. Didn't I do one more? I thought I did a Halloween page as well. Hold up. Yeah, I did one more. I did the Halloween page. Did I scratch that off? Nope. I did not. Okay, so I did one more. I thought like I'm missing one. So this was the third one that I did in this book, which was for Halloween in October. So yeah, I almost forgot to show you this cute little page. And it's all done with my Polychromos pencils. And I adore it. Like, especially his cute furry friend on the pumpkin. Look at that. So cute. And that's everything that I did in this lovely book. But I will keep this to the side so I can scratch off the extra page that I did. Because I don't think I scratched that off on my list. Then the next one that I have for you is one of, I think this was one of the first ones that came out, maybe the second or the third. But this one is Fieldmouse Yoruri Travel Sketchbook, my Makiko Inatome. And this one is really well known and it's one of my favorites. And as you can see, I also colored a lot in this one. So let's have a look. As you can see, I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pages in total this year. And I started it on the 15th of March. So let's have a look what I did. I did the character pages. So these are all the characters in the book that come back time after time. They're really adorable. Like, you've got an entire squirrel family, and the little hedgehog, and the little furry friend, mousies, more squirrels, a mole, and a doggy. But I just love them. I love all of them. I like to use my Paul Rubens watercolor as a base on this one, like really lightly, as if it's pastel. And then I go on top with my Polychromos pencils to shade things and make it a bit more refined. But I like the watercolor look. So that's one that I did with my sister. And then I did this one. This was also one of the first pages that I did ever in a coloring book, which was on the 15th of March. And I again used watercolor. But this is my old watercolor set, which was Van Gogh, I think. But when I felt like the texture of this paint, it felt really chalky. You could really feel it. Not a nice texture at all. And I used my Polychromos pencils on top. But that was all I had back then. So that's what I used. And there's a little bit of junk on the page. There we go. But yeah, I still adore how this one came out. I really like it. I really like my birds, the little bees. I love them. I love his sketchbook. Yeah, I love this one. So that's actually the first one that I did in this book. And then I also did these two. And this was actually a buddy with Sophie's Coloring Journey on Instagram. And I thought I want to do both the same color scheme. So when I looked at this one, I wanted to be much darker. But when I look at this one, I wanted to be a lot brighter. So I made an in-between palette because I saw somebody on Instagram who had done this page with a yellow plane. And I can't remember what her name is, but I did find her Instagram account. So now I follow that person. So I should actually write that down of who I used the color scheme of. I did change some of it, like with the houses and the beach. I made it a little bit different, and the same with this one. I made it different than hers, but I was inspired by the one that I saw on Pinterest. But now I at least know who it was by. So yeah, I really love both of these pages. And then I did a buddy with The Art of Momo in October for this lovely page. Again, my watercolors and colored pencils on top. And I first was like coloring it a lot darker than it is right now, but I decided I liked the pastel look way better than the really vibrant colors. So I erased a lot of what I did on the mushrooms and made it a lot lighter. So yeah, I love it. It's really like light. The same with this one. Again, watercolors as a base. So this was a buddy with Color and Create with Jana here on YouTube in November. And I love it. I love how it came out. I used my watercolor as a base again and Polychromos on top, because that's how I love to color in this book. It really makes it look like an illustration, you know, like a storybook. I like that style with this color, or this kind of coloring pages, this style of coloring. Yeah, so then Christmas came around and I did my tiny little Christmas hashtag for 2025, and I had a countdown hashtag for an advent calendar, so that you could do a tiny snippet each day in case you only have like 10 minutes a day or something like that. You could already work forward, because I posted this on the 1st of December. It's also in the Matchstick mouse. It's in the Yururi Field Mouse playlist, but it's also in the Tiny Little Christmas playlist. And so is this one, because this one is for my other hashtag that I ran in December, which is Tiny Little Christmas 2025. And this one was Tiny Little Christmas Countdown 2025. So I will do this hashtag again next year. And I will pick a different countdown and also a different page to do for next year. Just so that you are aware. There's also some paint pen. This is not with watercolor. This is all Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils and some paint pen for the gold. And that's it. And I think that's all I colored in this lovely book. Yes. Look at that. So beautiful. This is one of my favorites. So yeah, I've got one more from the same illustrator. And it is a Kodawari book. So this is not a Tokimeku, but it looks the exact same. So I didn't even know that it was a different series, but it is. And the only difference is that it has lesser pages. So the Tokimeku has about 70 pages to color, while this one only has 40 pages. So that's the only difference, in case you were wondering. That's why I show them as one and the same, but they're actually not. I did 2 pages in this one, because this is the only book that I don't do both sides, because for some reason I've got a hard time coloring in this book. And I don't know if it's because of the reeds, that it's like repetitive, or I don't know what it is, because I love her artwork. I love the cute little animals. But yeah, I did this one first for Easter. I was actually a bit earlier than Easter. Didn't I even date it? No, I did not. Oh yeah, I did. 24th of March. I was looking here, but it was over there. So yeah, I did this in the 24th of March. So I was a little bit early for Easter, but I felt like coloring Easter. So I did that one, and I enjoyed it very much. It was with my Polychromos pencils. And yeah, I like it. So this one, no watercolor, just colored pencils. And then in October, I did this as a buddy with coloring Bumblebee. And again, only 1 page. And again, only colored pencils. But this time I used my Faber-Castell Polychromos and my Derwent Chromaflow, I believe. Because I have a few Chromaflow pencils, like a pink and a purple and a light purple, something like that. So I used those as well. And for the bright pink, I think I used my Ohuhu pencil. And on top, you can see a slight shimmer on the fruits. And also over here on the magic. That's watercolor, like gold watercolor, to have some shine so that it is even more magical. And I'm really proud of this page. I really like the color scheme I went for. I don't normally like browns in a coloring page, but I was just like, let's do something different this time, because I still had my favorite pink and purples, and I wanted autumn feel. So I was like, let's do brown, because that feels good with autumn. So that's what I did, and I love it. I had a lot of fun with this one, and Jess made a wonderful page as well. That's what I do remember. I was really happy with mine, and I loved hers as well. So that's everything that I did in that book. And then again, one of my favorites of the series is this one. A Fairy Tale Journey with Little Friends in the Forest by Sayuri Kobayashi. And I adore this book. But I colored quite a bit in this one because of the Color the Fairy Tale hashtag that Jordy Colors did here on YouTube. As you can see, I did 10 pages, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 double pages. All because of the Color the Fairy Tale hashtag, and I love it. So let's start with the first one. I did both of these, which was for September. Yes, it was for September. Probably the prompt was bunny and stars, and there's both stars and bunnies on this one. So yeah, that's why I did these two. I used my Ohuhu colored pencils for this one, for both of them. And I enjoyed them on this paper. Like, they're definitely not the same as the Polychromos pencils. They're a bit more scratchy and a bit more oily. Like, it's hard to explain. They're not the best pencils in my opinion. They also leave a lot of residue when you press too hard on the page. I'm not a fan. I hate them and I love them basically. But if you combine it with the Polychromos, they work really well. They smooth, like your Polychromos get smoothed out by the Ohuhu basically. So that is good to know for you guys. But that was actually one that I did in September for Color the Fairy Tales. Then I did this one in August for the prompt Sweets. For Color the Fairy Tales, you guessed it right. And again, my Ohuhu pencils, because I like using my Ohuhu pencils in this coloring book. And I also added in some Polychromos for the browns, because there are not many brown colors in the Ohuhu set. So I also added those in, but I really adore both of these pages. They're really colorful, really bright and vibrant, and I like it. Next up, I did the Alice in Wonderland page for Color the Fairy Tales in November? Did I not? No, I don't think it was for the Color the Fairy Tales. I think it was for the November Met Tea Party hashtag. But this one was actually a buddy with my friend Serenity Colors on Instagram. And that was actually her first buddy ever. So we picked something simple. And then I saw this page. And I was thinking about skipping it because it's one of my favorite pages of the book. But I was like, nah, because there's a lot of overlap. So let's just do both. And I used Polychromos pencils, Derwent Chromaflow for most of the pink. And the back color, this one, the pink color, is actually a black edition from Faber-Castell, I believe, the pastel one. Yeah, that's what that one was. So yeah, mostly Polychromos. The chairs and the darker pink there is all Chromaflow, and the other one is black edition from Faber-Castell. Yes. Then this was actually for Call of the Fairy Tales for October, which was Cinderella. I didn't even write it down. It was for that. I should do that as well. I keep forgetting to write stuff down, I guess. But I know this because I was waiting for this page to be picked. But look, if I do like this, the shine is coming from all sides. Let's do that one more time. Like, I overdid it with the shine on this one. Like, there's basically glitter everywhere. In the sky, in the dress, on her dress, on the pot, on the carriage, on the castle, in the fireworks, on the shoe. Like, everywhere there's watercolor with shimmer. But I had an oopsie with this one. Like, there's damage on the page over here. Like, it's rubbed off, like damage. And there's a giant rip all the way up till about here. Because my cat jumped up my desk while this was still drying, because I used watercolor for this page, and I clamped it down, and she was like holding on like this, so she scratched it open. And also this was there for damage because it was wet, you know, like with her paw, because she jumped like this, scratched herself. That's also why I've got all of these scratches on my mat, because of that incident. But I love this page. This is one of my favorites in the book. And then the first one that I actually did in this book is this lovely Beauty and the Beast page. And that was the first one that I did in this book for Call of the Fairy Tales. And that was in June of 2025. And I love it. I just love it. It's amazing. It's cute, it's fluffy, it's gorgeous, and all the colors in the world. And I love it. That's all I got to say about it. It's all Polychromos pencils. Nothing else, because at the time I did not own anything else than Polychromos. So that is what this is, all of it. And I love them so much. Like, I wanted them to be Beauty and the Beast. And that's where I picked the colors from. Because in Beauty and the Beast, the curtains are red and some of them are blue further down in the castle. So I was like, yeah, let's just try to make it work like that. And that's what I did. And that's everything that I colored in this wonderful book. And I'm hoping to color many more next year, because the Call of the Fairy Tale hashtag is continuing in 2026. So yeah, I can't wait to do more in that book because of that reason. Then the next Tokimeku book that I have for you is The Bear and the Wonderful Town by Naoko Chiwaka. It's about these 5 little bears. And I colored a lot in this one as buddies with my sister. As you can see, I did 2, 4, 6, 11 pages? Yes, 11 pages. So let's start with the first one, which is actually the character sheet for both the PJs and the normal outfits. And this is actually the colors that I use. So you can see I used Ohu, Holbein, Prisma, like black Faber-Castell. I use everything basically under the sun for this one. Everything that I can find that fits like my pastel theme in this one. So it's a combination of everything I own. So this is nice and simple. I did this in November as a buddy with my sister, both of these, because we wanted the characters to have the colors picked so we can use them throughout the book. But at some point they switch into their PJs, and then afterwards they've got different outfits on. So then you have to guess who is who, you know what I mean? This was actually the first buddy that I did with my sister in this book, but she wanted to color this one, and I said I'm also going to do this one. So that is why both of them are colored. And this was just literally just test everything page. Again, I tested all the pencils in August. And I do really like how these look. That's what I do like. So yeah, next up is also a buddy with my sister again. Because this was the only book that she owned, like back then. Now she owns a lot more, which is good. So we've got a few more books to buddy in. But we did both of these pages also together, and this is the page that both of us didn't like, and we loved this side. So that's why we picked these two to do together, so that you always have one stupid one and one nice one, basically. Even though I didn't find this too stupid, because look at those lovely, fluffy little animals. Like this turned out to be a wolf, but I thought it was a fox. So that's why I called it like a fox. But when I looked at, in the PDF file that you can download, I saw it was a wolf. Too late. It's now a fox, okay? Like I can do whatever I want. It's my coloring book. But I really like the color scheme that I went for. And I used mainly, again, the Ohuhu pencils and some Derwent Chroma Flow for the pink shades, mostly. And that's it. And I adore this one. It's amazing. Then this is one that I actually did before my sister owned the book. So I did both of these pages, all with Ohuhu pencils, because this was the first page that I did with my Ohuhu pencils to test them out. And I wanted all the pastels, so that's exactly what I did. I started with this one. Yes, I started with this one because that was the one I picked out. And then I was like, well, then I can't leave this behind. So I started also on this one. But look how much detail, like how many little bits and bobs are on the page. But it did work out in the end. I really like how it came out, all with Ohuhu pencils. So that one was done first. And this was a buddy for Space Timber with my sister. And I colored again both pages. But you see, they're in the PJs on this one. They're sleeping. And I love it. I love how cute it is, basically. I love it. So yeah, I did one more page, which is one of these boring ones in the extra bonus pages. It's like bonus number 3. And I did this one to test out my pencils that I bought. So every element is a different pencil kind, like basically. And I also use different pencils on the same one because I only have 3 per brand, basically. So I just use them all together. So I also had my luminance. I had like basically anything that you can get open stock. I tested on this page as well, just to see how it would feel in one of my Tokimeku books. And that's everything I did in The Bear and the Wonderful Town, which is also quite a lot. Then the next book, which I have not done a huge amount in, but I did color in, is Midnight Tea Party with Stuffed Animals by Pogi, which is also a Tokimeku book. And I did 5 pages in this one, as you can see. And the first one is actually a buddy again with my sister, because this is also one of the books that she owns. So this will be a buddy book with my sister. So she picks out the pages and I just follow along, basically. But yeah, as you can see, again, pastel colors. I mainly use Ohuhu pencils in this one, some Derwent Chroma Flow for that pink. And that's it, I think. No other colors. No, I think this is all Ohuhu and some Derwent Chroma Flow. And I loved it. So that's that one. And then I did this one for the month of September. You guessed that right. And I used watercolor, shiny watercolor, as you can see, like really shiny. Everything is shiny in the background. And also on the moon and on the fairy wand. Because it's magic, you know, it's magic, a dream world. At least that's what I think it is. And I was supposed to also do that one, but I wasn't feeling the best at the time. And after this one, I was completely done with it, even though it's adorable as heck, you know. But that one is also adorable, so I don't mind coloring that later with my sister. Then I only have to do 1 page and she will do both. I don't really mind. This is the first one that I did in this book, which is the ice cream page, as I call it. And I love it. I also used only Ohuhu pencils for this one. I did not have the Derwent Chroma Flow at the time. So this is all Ohuhu pencils. And I love it. I love the pastel tones in this book. That is like the mood I'm going for this entire book. But I always try to do one that I don't like as much, which is food. And one that I do like with the cute little characters, because that's what I love to do. So yeah, that's everything that I did in the Midnight Tea Party with Stuffed Animals book by Pogi. And then I've got 2 more out of this series. And the second to last one is The Cat's General Store and the Magic Key by Moko. It's about this lovely cat with his buddy friend, the weasel. And we did a buddy, my sister and I, for the character pages. And of course also the left one, because that can't be left out. We always do both sides. But basically we were looking for character pages in the books that she owns. So that's what we did in November and December. So this one was done for December, and I did both of them. I don't like to color food, so I did that one mostly first. Like I did a little bit on this side, like the ribbons, and then I moved to this one. Did all of this and then moved back to this page to finish it off. But I do really like how it turned out. I used my Polychromos pencils, my Holbein. Yes, I think this is Holbein, the purplish tone. And that's it, I think. I don't think it's Chromaflow. No, I think it's Holbein and Polychromos pencils for this one. But most of it is all Polychromos. Only that color, I think, is Holbein. Everything else is just Polychromos. And I love it. I really love it. So yeah, that is the character page done. And then this one was the one that I did in March, like when I first started out on my own, before my sister even owned the book. And I did these door pages because I did like a random pick. I picked my book and then I filled in the amount of pages in like a random number spinner, and it picked this page, or at least it picked this page. But there are 4 doors, so it's 1 page in my opinion. So I did both of them, but I did not like it. Or my sister picked this one. I'm not sure actually. I think my sister picked it because it was the one with one of the doors. I was like, yeah, but they belong together, so I have to do both. Because that's what I did in the beginning. I was letting my sister pick, or I used a random number generator basically. And then I also did this double page spread, and these two are actually a color along on my channel as well, which you can find under the Tokimeku playlist, I think, or it is the Cats General Store playlist. I think it's the Cats General Store playlist. But yeah, I did this as a color along basically, and I used my Holbein and my Polychromos, I think. Yeah, I think that's what I used. And this purple might be the Diamond Chromaflow as well. That might be Diamond Chromaflow. The ice green is Holbein. That's what I know for sure. And so is the bright pink. And that pink is Diamond Chromaflow, and the purple is as well. So that's the combination I think I used. I'm not sure. Maybe it isn't. It's too long ago, okay? It's too long ago. Did I even... Yeah, I dated it in August. Okay. And that's everything I did in this book. So not that many yet, but we will be coloring in this book as well for this year, for 2026. And then the last one in the Tokimeku series is the newest edition, which is... I don't have even a translation on it yet. The Traveling Animal Band, or the Traveling Animal Orchestra, something like that. And I only did 1 page. But yeah, you can see basically all the Tokimeku books on the left here. So those are all of them, I think. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I only did 1 page in this one, which was a buddy with Coloring Bumblebee. And it was this lovely Owl Cafe, which I didn't like when we picked it. But it was one of her favorite pages, because she likes buildings. And we did it as a buddy, but I actually enjoyed it a lot when coloring it. And that surprised me. So I also did a lot of other pages in other books that I didn't like, and I enjoyed them as well. A lot more than I thought I would. And this one is not colored yet, as you can see. And that's like, I would need to do it. But I know Coloring Bumblebee also wants to do this one very soon in the winter period. So I'm sure we will buddy this one as well. We haven't talked about it yet, but I know she mentioned it on her live stream when she was picking out the books that she's gonna color in. So then I have my double page again. Can't wait for that one. So that's everything that I did in the Tokimeku series. Whew, that was a lot, wasn't it? That was already half an hour just for Tokimeku books. Okay, next up. All right, and I've got another artist. If my cat doesn't wanna... Yeah, Spooky decided that I needed a break, I guess. So that's Spooky. My lovely black monster. She's really small and she's really cute. Yeesh. Can mommy film a little bit more, BB? Yeah? Okay. Please go. Go. Thank you. So yeah, that was Spooky. And I was about to say that I was going to the next artist, which is Kanoko Egusa. And this is not the first one that I bought. The first one that I bought from her is actually this one, The Kingdom of Curious Creatures. So let's start with that one, because this was the one that is my favorite of all her books. And this is the Japanese edition. So I made an overview as always. And as you can see, I call it a double page. Or 2 pages, I should say. And my plastic is folded up. I don't like that. Let's hold it together and flip it then. Okay, hopefully that stays now. So yeah, I did this lovely double page, or actually 2 separate pages, but you know what I mean. I did both of them. So I started with this one, and these it's damaged. What the hell? What happened? Maybe my cat with her nail. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It lives in my house, so yeah, things happen. But anyway, I started with this page, and these like triangles, what do you call these? Those shapes, they were like printed in like a dark black grayish tone, and I didn't like that at all. Like these were not. These were just like white, all of these. So you could just color them. But for these ones, they were covered in like the black tone. So I painted over it with acrylic paint markers. Mostly, I think this is the Guangna paint that I used for that one. And for the background as well, over here. Because at first I did it in gold, as you can see. But I didn't like it. So I changed it to this pink. But I forgot this piece. And I was like, yeah, well, never mind. I'm going to leave that as a reminder of how much I struggled with these pages. Because this one was already a struggle. But in the end, not that bad. But when I started this one, I found out how much I disliked this page, because at first I thought I didn't like this one, but in the end I disliked this one much more. And I also did some watercolor for some shine on the dress. Not sure if you can tell. It's mainly on the sides, and also on the flowers I did some pink watercolor. But yeah, everything else is just my polychromos mainly, and maybe a Derwent Chromaflow for this pink, I guess, because I don't have that in Faber-Castell. But yeah, it turned out lovely. I also changed up her hair. So I put paint pen around it. I also covered up the lines on her sleeves. I made puffy sleeves over here. So I changed quite a bit on her because I didn't like how she had short hair up till here. So I changed it so it looks more like the original Alice from the Disney movie. And that's everything that I did in this book. But because like this book has so many like lovely pages with like animals with clothing on, and I love that so much that I was like, yeah, you're kidding yourself if you pretend that you don't like this. So I thought like, okay, I'm also going to buy all her other books because I just like it. And that's exactly what I did. So I bought also the other 3. And this is one of them. This one is a lot smaller than this one. Like this is the Japanese version, both of these. But this one is smaller, as you can see, a lot smaller. Not a tiny bit, but a lot smaller. So I started coloring in this one. And I did 3 pages, and I started it as a buddy. Come on, there's a hair for my cat. So I started this as a buddy in December with ALLJ Art on Instagram and YouTube. And we were doing this page with the birds. And I used my my soft pastel on the background and also some on the birds. But I was so messy, like really messy. And I used fixative. And it worked, but it's really messy. Like you can see like the little splotches, like also over here. And my fingerprints also on on the head of the bird. Like I made a mess. And then when I fixed it, I used some Faber-Castell polychromos and some Holbein on the heads of the birds. And that's everything I used. And I used some paint pen for the snowflakes. Yes, and then I was done with it. But it's not my prettiest work, but I'm really happy with the result. Like I never used pastel in coloring books before, so I think I did great. And then I wanted the same color scheme on this one, so I did that. And then I sprayed it, and I flipped to the back, and all this blue came straight through. I also showed that in my completed pages video for December, because right now you can't see it anymore because I covered up the back already. I colored it, so you can't see it anymore, but it was completely gone through. So the whole entire side, like this whole section on the other side, was blue, completely blue. I was like, no, because the other page next to it is a cute bunny, and I love my bunnies. But yeah, I managed to fix that, but you will see that in a minute. And then I colored the wolf with my Holbein pencils and some paint pen for the white on the fur. And I really do like how it came out. But yeah, I tried to use the same colors as for this page. So that's why it's roughly in the same color tones. But I'm happy with this. It was a bit messy, but hey, I learned something. I do not like pastels like this with my fingers. And this is the page that needed saving. So literally everything around here, like literally like this, was all blue. Just one blue haze over the entire page. And I was like, no, because these are my favorite pages in this book. But as you can see, you don't see anything of it anymore. Like when I pull you close, you can see some blue over here, like on where it's supposed to be white. And underneath this pink, you see a little bit of blue. But besides that, it's not noticeable at all. So I think I did a great job. And like now it's not a reminder of my epic fail with my pastel anymore. Now it's just like my cute little bunny page. Even though it's not the colors that I wanted to use for this page. I wanted it way more pastel than it is now, but I had to make certain parts darker, like her sweater. I made it more like a red pink tone instead of like a softer pink. So that's why I changed some colors that I otherwise wouldn't have used. So that's why it's different than what I had in mind at first. But I'm happy that I saved it. And now I can pull this color scheme to that side and be really happy with it. So I saved my little book from the doom of the blue bleed through. Yeah, that was a nightmare to me. And then this is the next book by Kanoko Egusa, which is Rhapsody in the Forest, or in English, Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. So there are multiple names for this book, which is really confusing for people. So that's why I've written down the English translation on it as well, because it's different, because this is the Japanese version. As you can see, I did 2 pages in this one, because that's how I like to color. And it is these 2 wonderful pages. Again, a buddy with ALLJ art. And yes, she did finish her side, because this is the buddy one that we did. And yes, she did finish this one. This was the first one that we actually did together, because she asked me if I wanted to buddy up. And of course I said yes, because I love doing buddies. So I picked this page. I gave her a few options, and then she picked this one from the options that I gave her, because I wanted to do something with a mouse. Not really sure why anymore, but I wanted a mouse. I just love it. And I was going back and forth which colors I wanted to use, but in the end I thought like I at least want some greens and bluish greens in the background. So that's where I started with the background. And then I started on the flowers, and I did the mouse last. But the way I colored it, it's almost as if it's a Mary Poppins mouse. Like she is floating in the air with her her umbrella. Every time I see this page, I think of Mary Poppins now. And then I wasn't done yet, because we had this pattern page on the left. And I was like, yep, now that this is finished, I also want to finish this one, because I'm not a huge fan of pattern pages. And that was pretty noticeable when I was coloring this, because I had trouble starting up, as I call it. So I started in the middle with the frogs and those flowers, leaves. And I tried to do everything that I colored here. I also tried to do on the page. So when I did the flowers, I did all of these flowers as well. When I did like the snail, I also did that snail and that one. There are 2 of them. So, and with the frogs the same, you know, like there are a few frogs as well. And that's how I went over the page bit by bit. And I did the background, like the green tones in the background last. And I left some of these rasters, I left white for some contrast, because otherwise it will just blur in. And I actually like it. I like the end result. I enjoyed it in the end, but I was stuck halfway through. I did not know what to do with the background, but because there's a lot of like this greeny tone in the background here, I thought let's also do that on this background then, to tie them together. And that worked really well. I'm really happy with the result of both these pages. So that is everything that I did in Rhapsody in the Forest by Kanoko Egusa. And then I've got one more book from Kanoko, which is Leon's Journey. This is like her newest book. And the English version actually comes out in, I believe, February of next year. So 2026, which is this year by now that I'm filming this. I still say next year. It's like the 1st of January today that I'm filming this. I'm filming this video in chunks. So I did some in December, and now I'm in the new year filming as well. So yeah, this is also a brand new book to me. As you can see, I colored it on the 16th of December, and I did 2 pages. what is not to love about that. And I did these two in the winter section. So this book is split up in seasons. So you start in spring, then summer, autumn, and last winter. So I wanted these pages done because these are my two least favorite pages of this chapter, so to speak. And this one was actually a body with colorful mother of three, Maria from Sweden. And I didn't know what I wanted. Like at first I want to go for more like a pastel tone, but I couldn't make up my mind because I wanted the cat to be a ginger cat, like my old cat that I used to have named Tiger. And if I make him like orangey and I would do like a turquoise blue pastel look, it would look funky. It wouldn't look great with the orange cat. So it's like, well, never mind. Don't be creative. Don't try to be out of the box. Just do the normal tones that you have always done in the past. Like when I was doing realistic artwork, basically. So it's like, okay, let's do that because I know how to do that. So that's what I did. I started with the building, which was a lot of work. I used Holbein for this one because I bought my Holbein set at the end of November. So I started using it in December and I'm in love with it. This was the first time that I used it like in the month. Like I did it also in other books. And then this was my first full page with it, basically, that I was doing. And I loved them. I love those pencils. And I also love this page. So in the end, when I did all the coloring, I added paint pen for the snow. So I did snow on like the house, like next to the windows here on the side of the house, but also on the roof. Like this, I just left white with like no colored pencils. But I did make like snowflakes, and I did some on the lantern, some snow, like on the little archway. And on the floor I did some as well, because this pathway isn't there in the original. So that's what I did myself. Yeah, I really like how it came out. Like I also like how I made the geese, like Canadian geese. And then I did this one after, because this is actually a page that I like the least, because I don't like pages with just random items on it, thrown on it. So yeah, I had a hard time coloring that one. Like I struggled with this one because it was a house and I don't like houses, but it's more like a mansion with like elements that I do like. Like I do like this this roof, you know? And I like the geese because I like animals. And I like the archway because I had an idea of what I wanted, but the house itself was a struggle. So I was happy when it was done, but then I still had this left to do. So I started and I did these three, like these three elements, and then I need to do all 5 of the, or 6 of the other ones. And I did them all in one go. And I finished it, and then I added this in the corners because without it, it felt unfinished. So I added in the corners some of the same blue that I used over here, and it ties it up nice and neat. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result in this book, and I can't wait to do more in Leon's journey. But yeah, a lot more people will probably have this by next year in February, because it will be in English. And that's that one for Kanoko. Is Cute Animals of Stella Village by Park Rahi. And this was a brand new book for me in November, December, something like that. Yeah, in December. And I did one page in the back, also as a buddy with coloring Bumblebee. And it is this lovely page. And I used mainly my Ohu pencils because I was not feeling well at the beginning of December. I was really sick, so I was in bed with fever and I had no voice and I felt crap. And I wanted something easy. So I grabbed my cup of pencils from my Ohu, because they're in cups, and I placed them next to my bed and I started coloring this one. And it was amazing. I loved it. Like nice and simple coloring. Nice and vibrant. Nothing else to say about that. Just had a good time. So yeah, that was this one. This is the only one I did in this book, and I love it. Then the next artist that I have is Eriy, and this is the first book that I bought from her, and the only book that I've colored in 2025, because I only own this one. But I've got more on the way, which should be here before the end. No, not before the end of the year. Before the 5th of January, before my birthday, because my birthday is on the 6th of January. So that I consider my birthday gift to myself. But yeah, I did 6 pages in this book. So I did the first 4. So I did some testing with all of the open stock pencils that I bought in July or June or something. So I've written them also down, which pencil is which. So luminance, Faber-Castell Black, Pastel Fluorescent, Durban Color Soft, Polychromos, Holbein, Light Fast, Chromaflow, Lyra, Rembrandt, Carandash Pablo, and Ohuhu Lava, and the Prismacolor, not to forget that one. So basically all the pencils that I can get open stock. I was just testing it out, so I bought random colors for all of them, and that's what I tested. So the colors that you see are the ones that I bought. And then, just to make it fun, I used all of those colors on this page, on this double page. And I just colored ahead. I just did little bits and bobs with every pencil, basically. So, and every pencil that I tested on this one is also on this page. And I loved doing it. I enjoyed it a lot, even though it's really scratchy on some parts and it might not look the best, but I wanted a not too perfect look. That's what I went for. I was just having fun, basically. And I like it. That was in July. And then in October, I did these 2 pages because I did not like this page at all, but I did like that one. So I first colored the left side with my Polychromos pencils, but as you might know, Polychromos pencils don't work the best in Eriy books. And it's the same with this one. Like, it looks amazing. Like, it looks fine, you know? Like, when you look at it, it looks fine. You see, it's all covered. There's some paint pen with gold on top. You wouldn't even tell that it wouldn't take it that well. But, like, whatever you did a lot of layers. And for some reason, it was like as if it was still fading out. And you had to add even more layers. It just wouldn't grip onto it that nicely. It just doesn't really work. It just resisted or something, you know. I can't really explain it, but I do really like this page, how it came out. But yeah, it was a struggle for me, that one. I do like it though. And then I did this page. So I started with the chair and the girl and the ghost cat. And I used paint pen on the lines for all the ghosts, but only on the outside line so that you know it's a ghost. And I also colored the colors from the background so it's like see-through, like on the edges of them, not everywhere. Like with his hair I did it as well, but with his body I didn't, not with her outfit I didn't, but I did do it like on her veil. So I picked and choose where I would make the background like look through, basically. And I like it. And I also used gold pen on the chair again. Really nice. Yeah, and that's everything that I did in my Eriy book for now. And I've got many more on the way, so I can't wait for next year to color many, many more. Next up, I have Garden of Dreams, or Secret Dream Story, by Yoshimi Sekiguchi. There's also now a English version of this same one that just recently released. It was called Garden of Dreams. And in this one, I colored 2 double page spreads. And I colored these 2 for Call the Fairy Tales and Space Timber. And I used watercolor as a base. And then my Polychromos and Durban Chromaflow on top. And yeah, I really like how it came out. It turned out a lot darker than I expected. But I do really like how it came out. Like, I don't like this page because of all the random items, but I did like really this page because of them and the telescope. And yeah, I really liked it. It was fun to do. And then this was actually the first one that I did in this book, which I did all with Polychromos pencils. And it was really a lot of work, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I do like how it came out, but the process of doing this was really tedious. Like, I made all of the background myself because that wasn't there. It was just only them. And I made all of this like it's my own fault that I wanted to color every inch, you know? But yeah, I did not enjoy this one as much as I did the watercolor. So I think my new strategy from now on is watercolor and then colored pencils for this book, because only colored pencils is just too much for me for this one. So yeah, that is Dream Garden. And then the next one that I have for you is The Day We Finally Meet by Joo-Jin Kim. My Precious Baby Animals. This is actually an out-of-print book, which is pretty old. And I was lucky enough to be able to buy this from one of my viewers who offered to sell it to me. So thank you. You know who you are. And I did 2 doubles in this one, as you can see. But yeah, the book is a little bit yellowed, as you can see, because it's really old, you know, like it's not brand new, it's a bit old. And it has some like damages over there, but that's okay. And then I did this, these 2 pages. I used my Devon Chromoflow Ohuhu pencils and watercolor by Paul Roemer. Like it's shiny metallic watercolor, as you can see. But I will already give you the warning. Like if you do watercolor, it bleeds through. As long as you don't use too much water, it bleeds through minimally, but it definitely does bleed through. So luckily it's not a whole lot because it was gold. But yeah, no watercolor for this book, basically. But I used the same color scheme on this side, also with the watercolor gold. And some gold paint pen for the other gold that I used, the darker gold. But yeah, I really like how this one came out. I really, I had an idea for this one, what I wanted. And that's what I did. So yeah, beautiful. This is also one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the whole year, because I enjoyed it so much. And it also looks really good. And then the other page that I did in this book is actually this bear page in the river. And I had no idea what to do with it. And then my sister said, Winnie the Pooh. I was like, Winnie the Pooh? What are you talking about? But she meant Winnie the Pooh, as in make it Winnie the Pooh bears, as in yellow bears, with a honey river, you know? Like that's what she meant. And I was like, oh, okay. So I used my Ohuhu and my Polychromos pencils combined, as you can see. So this is my color scheme. I like to do that in my Korean books, that I make like the palettes on the left of what I've used. So in case I like something, I can just look back of what I used, basically. Because there's a lot of empty space on the left of this book. Like, you see? They all have a lot of space on the left. So that's a nice addition. So I color both at the same time because of that reason. But yeah, I did really enjoy this one. And I like the end result. Really vibrant and nice. And that's everything that I've done in this precious book of mine. It's one of my favorites as well. I'm really happy with that one. Then the next one is Looking for the Bell of Happiness. And in this one, I only got recently. I only got this in November. That's like the flyer that's over the book. And I only did 1 double page spread. And it is this one. I let my sister pick out a page for me. Because she said, can I pick one? And I'm like, sure, go ahead. You pick one, I color it. Because it was the Christmas, like almost Christmas period. So I wanted Christmassy colors to use on any page in the book. But the book is really summery and spring-like, lots of flowers, you know, like not really suited for like Christmas color schemes. But there were these bells and these ribbons and like this wreath on the door. So it could fit with Christmas colors. And that's exactly what I did. I only used my Paul Rubens watercolors. And I did several layers of it. And I adore it. I love it. Like this paper does it really nicely. Like, yes, you can see some speckling on the page where I used a bit too much water. And you do have to let it dry in between layers. So if you put on one layer, let it dry. And then add the next one, dry, next one, and so on and so forth. Because if it's still wet, you will peel up the paper if you rub it again. So it does take it. It does not bleed through. It also doesn't buckle that much. But you have to let it dry in between, and then it works wonderfully, because this book has a lot of open space, a lot of double pages. So I really wanted to use my watercolor for this one, for this entire book, because it suits the vibe, you know. It is a nice medium for a big space book, basically. So that's everything that I did in Looking for the Bell of Happiness. Then the next one, which is one of the first books that I bought, is A Story of a Precious Cat by Nelco Neco. And this is actually a project book of mine. I did a lot of coloring in it in 2025 because I joined a group on Instagram started by Amy Ward Art on YouTube and Instagram. And they pick a page for every 2 months to color. And I joined in late, but I caught up basically. So I did most of the pages that they did as well, like at some point. Like I'm now caught up, so now I can just color along. But I do even more than what they all do. I do 1 page each month now, basically. And that's basically also what I did for last year, because this is everything that I did in 2025. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pages. So almost 1 a month. But I only started in March. So, you know, I did more than 1 a month, basically. But yeah. This was the first one that I did on my own before I started the group. and I wanted a different color scheme than usually. And I didn't realize, like, you're gonna be coloring these in the entire book the same way, Pauline. Why did you do this? Why did you give them purple and green eyes? But I did. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's flip through it. That was done with Polychromos pencils. And then I went to watercolor and Polychromos pencils on top. So this is all watercolor plus Polychromos pencils. And these are the characters in the book. So they come back and back in the book, basically. You see them every single time. And this is my favorite of all of them. His name is Chiro. So you can see they've got names. So Pupuri and Peppino, the twin. Chiro, Tom, Daisy, and Heek, if I'm correct. So yeah, I did those. I did those on my own, but I don't think these were actually picked for the buddy group. They were already done by some people, so I wanted them done because you have them throughout the entire book. That's why I done it. This was actually part of the buddy group. And I did this again with watercolor underneath and pencils on top. And I like the pastel color scheme that I picked out. I really like how close up you got the kitties. Really adorable. This was also part of the buddy group. And again, I did watercolor as the base and colored pencils on top. And this is actually a color along on my channel on the Nelco Neco playlist. Like, look, so cute. I really like how springy this one is. Like, really summery page. Really cute with all the bubbles and the tub. I just like it. I really like that page. So that's a color along on my channel. Then I also did this one as a catch-up page because they also did that one before I joined in. And I again did watercolor in the background, my Paul Rubens and Polychromos on top. I just don't like how this dress, mainly this dress is pretty okay, but this one turned out too dark, too moody. But it fits the theme, you know, everything is a bit moody on this page. So I still like it, but I wasn't too pleased with the outcome. I do really like the tree hut. That's what I do like about it. This is actually the first page that I colored in this book, which was actually the first one that they picked for their buddy group. And I did this one only with Polychromos pencils. It's all pencils and a little bit of paint pen for the glimmer, the gold. But yeah, I did this all with Polychromos pencils. And oh, what a hell that was. That was hell. This paper does not like Polychromos. It resisted. So if you do too many layers to make it nice and smooth, the paper will struggle. Like, you will damage the paper completely. It will have this ugly texture. And I pressed really hard over here and it bled through. There's no fixative on this. And that was just by pressing and coloring, like, with a lot of pressure. And you see the colors through it. So keep that in mind. Polychromos, you can use it, but with a base. Like with watercolor base or whatever. And then still you can't do many layers on top. Just keep that in mind. That's why I now switch to watercolor and then pencils on top. I think this book works better with a waxy base pencil. This is also a color along in the Nelco Neco playlist. And we done this for October. Or I did this for October, I should say. It was the page for September/October, I believe. So yeah, this is also a color along on the channel, and I love how it came out. Nice and moody, nice and dark, like really dirty, mummy. I love it, like in the misty effect in the background, especially, like that's what I wanted, you know? Nice and colorful and moody, like it's as if it's evening. Like that's why I also made the ground really dark. I just love it. One of my favorites so far. This is also a color along on my channel for November, for the Met Tea Party. This one is a lot simpler than the other pages, but still really nice. Again, Polychromos on top. That's the color scheme actually, because I'm planning to do the same on that side. That's why it's still there. And then the last page that I did in this book is actually the Christmas page, which is also a color along on my channel, which I did in December, which was the last page that was picked for the buddy group. The Alice page was not. That was one that I picked myself. And that's also what I'm planning to do for next year. I'm gonna let the group decide the first page. If it's not a double, I will pick one as well for the other month. Because we get 2 months to finish it. And if I only have one page, I would like to add another myself. So that's Nelco Neco. I love that book. The next one that I have for you is The Night Voyage by Daria Song, which is pretty old. So most of you probably have seen this before. And I did this page, like these little tiny presents with some gold accents. And I did also these little tiny things on the left. And I made my overview. And I did count these 2 pages as pages, so that's why they're scratched off. And then, no, I did not. I started counting from this one, I think. Did I? Maybe, I don't know, who cares. I did this one with only Polychromos pencils. And it was a lot of work, but really enjoyable. And I also added some gold, I believe, with my Ohu pencil. So this one, those birds are a bit of gold, but it is not that visible, like a little bit. And also on the wagon, I also did some gold, but it's not that visible actually. But I do really like these pages with the paper birds, basically. That's the page that I really like in this book. I also did these Prularia pages, as I call it, the little tiny mini bobs. So I did all of them at the same time. And then I did one more spread, which was this one. And I didn't know what to do. Like, I don't like this page by itself, but I like how it turned out. So I used paint pen for all of the dots, basically. So I colored in the stars all with gold paint pen. And the other ones were actually pencil. The red ones were pencil. The white ones were already white, so I left them. And then I colored this with Polychromos pencils, which I really like the look of. And I also colored her with Polychromos pencils, but she also has some gold on her back, as you can see. So yeah, I kept it pretty simple, and I liked it. I did it for Space Timber. And that's everything that I did in this book. And we will see if this is a book to keep or to destash, because I'm not convinced that I'm actually enjoying this book so far. So whenever I color in it next, I will have a check if I really don't like the book because of all the patterns, or if it's the medium that I used, because I'm still like testing stuff out basically. I might use watercolor or paint pens on it next time. I'm not sure yet. Okay, the next book is Secret Invitation, or as it's translated, it's Friends in the Fairy Tale Forest Full of Flowers by Natsuki. And this is one of my favorite books as well. And I colored 5 pages in this one, including this one as a buddy with my friend, Fungus Love Color on Instagram. And I started this on June with this lovely page, and I like how I colored it. I love it. It's like Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. Yes, it's Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils on this one, all of it. And I loved it. And we did not get enough of it, or at least I didn't get enough of it. And there were some people in the community who were doing the first chapter. So they were continuing with this one, and they gave themselves 2 months to complete it, like for both of them. And I was like, oh, I also want to join in. I want to do it. So I did 2 other pages that I didn't like in the book, which are these 2. I will show you them in a second. And then I did this one, but I really like it. Again, my Faber-Castell Polychromos plus some Derwent Chromoflow for the carpet, I believe. Maybe the pink is actually my Ohu pencil, because I did not have my Holbein back then, I think, the pink one. And I did some gold paint pens on the sky for stars. And I love this page. It's so adorable. These mousies are so adorable. But yeah, this is like an entire chapter of these mousies. Really adorable. And I did this one because I didn't like it because of the food, of course. But I used Ohu pencils for this entire page, just to test them out, you know, and to keep it simple, because I didn't want to add too much color. And that's exactly what I did. I kept it simple. And then I also did, because I needed 2 spreads to be sure that I could do my double, I also did this one because I also didn't like this page. But I don't like how the background came out, like the sky. That's what I don't like. It looks like it's foggy, because I should have done it the other way around. I should have done the dark on the top and the light on the bottom, as if there's clouds underneath. I did it the other way, like the wrong way around. So now it looks cloudy and misty and gloomy in the background, while it should actually be a bright day. You know what I mean? So I might go in and change it when I do the other side, but I'm not sure yet. But I do really like how the mouse came out, and the lion and the deer and the cards. I do like that part. So yeah, that's everything that I did in this lovely book. Yeah, I really look forward to coloring in this again in January. Then the next book is Kuma Country, or Bear Country by Chip. And I only did 1 page in this wonderful book. It's a really detailed book, as you can see. There are 24 pages, and you've got all the colored pages at the beginning of the book, and then you get the the coloring page by itself, basically, behind it. So you don't have the image next to it like some books have. So I colored this one with mainly Ohuhu and Copic markers, if I'm correct, and some pencils on top. But the pencils were not really like visible on top, so I stopped like almost immediately. I did a little bit on the bear over here, and it was so shiny. I was like, yeah, never mind. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. But I just did like everything with my my Copics and Ohuhu, as you can see, everything. So that's how I like to color this one. So I'm not sure if I will also color the next one with Ohuhu and Copics, or that I will try colored pencil for a change. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. I will color this in January as well. So then I've got 2 more books, and the first one is actually a story coloring book of Anne of Green Gables by Yin Kyung-yoon, if I'm saying that correctly. And I only did a double in this one, and I did that with watercolor. It's actually this double page spread, and I only used my Paul Rubens watercolor, but this paper by itself is a bit like, it looks a bit like this. So it's an off-white, but the paper, as you can hear, it becomes really crinkly and like stiff and crinkly. I used a lot of water on this one, and the paper gets this like dotted texture. Like, let me pull you closer. Like, it has a dotted texture. And if you also flip the page, you can also see it on here. And you can also see that the pages are a bit loose as well. But that's just the book. I should just be careful when flipping it. But yeah, you can really see that it bleeds through a little bit when you do watercolor. But this is how I like to color this book, with just light washes of watercolor. So I did a few washes over the entire page with a cohesive, like muted, but colorful palette, basically. And that's how I want to color this entire book. Just simple watercoloring. And I love it. I think I'm gonna like this, doing that way, having a watercolor only book. And then the last one, if I'm correct, is this one, which is also a recent addition to my collection, which is Classic Fairy Tales Masterpiece Coloring Book, Bringing Classic Fairy Tales to Life by Paper Flight. And this book is a fairy tale book, and it has 1 colored page, as you can see, which I did in November for the November Met Tea Party. No, not for the Met Tea Party, for the Color the Fairy Tale hashtag, for the frog prints. So this is the original on the left. So you always get the original on the left colored, and then you get the coloring page on the other side. And sometimes the back is already printed sometimes, so you don't have to do the background. And that was the case with this one as well, but I wanted it a lot darker. So I did do color pencils on top of that light green that you see over here. This green is printed. Everything else is colored by me. So yeah, that's what I did in November. And I think, if I'm correct, that's all of the books that I own right now, that I've colored in. Because I do own more, but I haven't colored in them in 2025. Because I only bought them like at the end of the month. So they only came in just before, just after Christmas. So yeah, I think that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed my massive amount of coloring pages that I did for this year. And I love to hear what you have to say about it. What were your favorites? And what did you love to see? Is there anything else that you would like to see, or like that I tell you about when I show you these? Just let me know, because then I might be able to add that in for next year, because I'm not going to show every single page every single year, because that will be way too much, way too long to film. But I will be doing a complete coloring book collection for next year. So because I added a lot of books since last time I did my collection, so I will update it for next year. So that you will hopefully see somewhere at the end of January, maybe a bit sooner, but it depends on when I'm done filming, because I will do full flip throughs for that one. So then you will also see the colored pages. So in case you want to see everything, that's coming as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for my next video. Bye bye!